Good evening and welcome to MNW Firing Line, your guide to Multiverse Nexus Wrestling. I'm your host, Jerry Aldini, aka Dr. Caliban, and with me as always is Pete McPherson, aka Storytellers Apprentice.
Yellow.
And it's another exciting week in the Nexus.
Indeed.
And how's it going?
Going all right. How are things going with you?
It's been a good week.
Good.
You know, nothing caught on fire.
Have you heard about this game that the people are playing? I believe they call it Valheim.
I've heard. And by the way, joining us in the booth is Eric Genericson, aka Edward Bosco.
How is everybody?
We're good. We're good. Pete was bringing up this game that seems to have consumed the entire community.
What game might that be? Does it start with a V and rhyme with kind
of, yeah.
A little bit.
I mean, not that we were playing it last night.
I mean, fair.
Spoiler, we were totally playing it last night. Hey, although, okay, you're here, so this is good. We can get this out of the way early.
Good. Have I been for a purpose, my lord?
No. By the way, you're real staticky right now. I
already know what it is.
I don't know.
And there. Everything all land.
Okay, yeah, it's better.
Fantastic.
Okay, so before we get into it tonight, and totally above game, a bunch of us have started watching Lucha Underground.
Wait, you're going back through Lucha?
Now, I've seen it before, but a lot of people in the community haven't. And since Lucha is like one of the foundations that inspired MNW, so people were really
right, because the Lucha Underground arena.
Yeah, that and some of the crazy storylines. So we're watching it, and this group included a lot of the voice chat mods, and we're getting into like the third episode when all of a sudden, you know, Ray Phoenix, who is now, of course, a mainstay on AEW, shows up.
Mm-hmm.
And this was the outfit he was wearing.
Uh-huh.
And
Does it look familiar?
It looks a lot. And one of the people in that watch party was Sensuna.
Oh, good. Did I not know who Ray Phoenix is? Because that's who El Pollo reminds me of.
Well, they knew who Ray Phoenix was, but they'd never seen this outfit. Everyone's like, wait a minute.
Good. Yep.
That looks really familiar.
Sure does.
Hold on,
I will say, Ray is what happens when you put the Crimson Phoenix with El Pollo de la Muerte. That's what that is.
There you go. So, yeah, no, it just was well, I felt like that needed to be commemorated somehow. And there you go. You know, we're going through it. People are enjoying it. People are like, wow, wouldn't it be nice if they booked Ricochet to actually do that on?
Oh, do they realize that that's Ricochet? Good.
Yeah, people really quickly went, well, the tattoos are kind of distinctive.
That's true, but I mean, you know, people are dumb sometimes. So who knows?
That, and you know, those of us that have seen it before know that's Ricochet. So, you know, point it out.
Well,
that's Ricochet. So yeah. Anyway, no, I just wanted to get that out of the way, and just, you know, wanted to.
Also, it's not Ricochet; it's Prince Puma. Thanks, Jared.
That's true. I mean, that's true.
I thought so. If you guys are curious, if you go watch NXT when Ricochet was still down there, when he was feuding with the Velveteen Dream, Velveteen came out with all like Puma like outfit to mock Ricochet, and it was the coolest callback because I can't talk about Lucha Underground, but like the fact that he was making fun of his old gimmick was great.
No, it was a good bit. So yeah. Anyway, anything else we want to cover before we get into the show?
No, let's do it, man.
You're good. Okay.
You're already 4 minutes into the show, and we haven't talked about anything except for not the show.
Well, you know, that's usually the first 4 minutes of the show, though. To be honest.
All right, that's fair.
Now so we're going to start off a little odd tonight. And that is that of course we every week for both Flashbang and Warzone do the audio promo of the week, and we like to play the audio promo where it's the most relevant.
Yeah.
This week, it just so happens that the audio promo of the week is most relevant right at the top of the show.
Poor K.
So, ladies and gentlemen, audio promo of the week for Flashbang. May I present to you? Well, let's take it away, Joe Mojo.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is interviewer Joe Mojo here with Tigiri and Johan Mjoln. And
didn't you see the last group of guys that wanted to talk to me? Didn't end up so well for them. Give the mic to Johan.
You want to know the crazy thing? I'm usually the angry one.
I just lost. How am I not supposed to be angry? It's bullshit.
Yeah, it is. Especially...
Fucking lizard.
Sweetheart, watch this. Nero, you wanted to test a union of a Norseman and an Amazon against you two lizards, and you do it by challenging us one-on-one? Do you want a showing of the true power couple of Friday nights? Then fight us in a tag team match. What's wrong, Scaly Bates? Are you afraid that you and yours will be embarrassed if we face you both as a couple? Or are you too busy hypnotizing men while your wife isn't looking?
Ooh, burn.
That's why I'm the angry one. Oi, well, get your microphone back. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been... Hey, yeah? Ask next time. You're embarrassing yourself.
So there you have it. Joe Mojo trying to get an interview in with Johan and Tigiri ends up with Johan calling out Nero Napier and Mizuki Napier for a match. Well,
you've done it now. You've gone and made a big mistake.
He did, because Flashbang kicks off with Nero Napier responding.
Which brings me to tonight. You once again want to step in this ring, but now you are stupid enough to try to drag me into it. So be it, Johan. Both myself and Mizuki are ready. Nothing you say can prevent the oncoming storm, and I will once again make an example out of the so-called heathen. You will find out why I am the longest reigning MNW World Heavyweight Champion in history. And it will be a mark that will be unmatched. At Multivania, it will be a year running. And when I drop you on your head and crush your skull or choke you out, I will prove that you have never been worthy to be on the same level as a world champion. Not now, not ever. And as for your little shot at me, at least I'm not the Empire's pet.
And so there you have it. Our main event will be a intergender tag team match between the Napiers and the Mjolns. And I'm sure nothing will happen that will change that at all.
Oh yeah, that's booked. That's official.
It's there. It's set. They've agreed.
Card is not subject to change.
Yeah. So yeah. By the way, I'm maybe a little scattered tonight. Another above game moment.
Yeah.
I am just about done editing the Flashbang section of Multimania
for
YouTube. So we will probably in the near future be having a meeting about how we want to premiere that particular event.
Should absolutely do a watch party. I would love to go over all the bullshit we had to do.
That's what I'm saying. I'm letting
There's
you know
that
now.
one, and I want to watch Bosco's last match with everybody because I can't believe it's been a year and a half.
No, I don't. You have that, right? I don't think I have that.
If it's not on the YouTube channel, we could put it up there. But
okay, but
it was part of a major pay-per-view.
Yeah, we totally need to do watch party for that too. So yeah, hey everyone, we have a YouTube channel.
Woo!
Check it out. We have.
We sure do.
And this is a good time. We'll probably do this a couple times during the show. Right now, we are of course getting all 3 MNW shows up on the YouTube channel 24 hours after they premiere on Twitch. So Firing Line will go up. This episode you're watching right now will go up tomorrow night on YouTube. Tomorrow night's Flashbang will go up on Saturday, and Saturday's Warzone.
Hello tomorrow night.
What?
I was saying hello tomorrow night.
Hello tomorrow night. But one of the other things, hey, Storytellers Apprentice, since we're above game at the moment. Do you want to tell people the new thing we're doing?
Why, I certainly can. I could even pull up the Discord announcement that I put up earlier.
Why don't you do that?
And let's see here. I probably would have helped if I had pulled this up ahead of time. But
Yeah, might have helped if I warned you I was going to do this.
All right. This is a call to arms, a call to videos. Listen up, MNW. Let me give you the 411. We're thrilled so far with your response to the MNW YouTube channel. Don't slow down now. Get over to the YouTube channel that we just linked earlier and like, comment, share, and subscribe, which, of course, a reminder, we are always taking submissions for wrestlers to say the YouTube spiel to play at the end of videos. Drop them in the hashtag Firing Line submissions channel of the Discord for now, potentially in its own channel later on. We are making some working on that. Now, on to the main reason for this announcement. As we said, we're thrilled with how the channel is doing so far, and we feel that the systems to get the new episodes out consistently are in place. What does this mean? This means we're looking at adding content aside from just archives of the shows. What kind of content? Why, thanks for asking, Steve. Frankly, we're adding content. We're figuring that part out. We've got ideas and things we're working on, but hey, you guys wouldn't know where we could find some content, would you? What? This community is full of awesome, talented beings? Why, you are exactly right, Steve. We do. So there it is, folks. MNW YouTube video community submissions, or how I made a fun video and ended it up on YouTube. We'll workshop the title. So with all neat and fun things, there's the fine print and details. Largely, we are going by the audio promo rules as a reference, but with the special YouTube price of a 15-minute duration as opposed to a 2.5 minutes duration. So as the promo rules include, these are not spots for you to try to shift the narrative of any showrunner's show. These submissions are going to be reviewed by the YouTube crew, which is myself, Off-Key Lime, Dr. Caliban, and Edward Bosco. We will have final say on what gets uploaded. So if you submit something and it doesn't go on YouTube, that's it. We're being firm on that right now to prevent future issues. So, got something to upload? A highlight reel? A wrestler retrospective? A commercial for Wilson's new line of designer paper bag headwear? We are currently accepting submissions through hashtag Firing Line submissions, potentially a new different Discord channel to be announced. But for the meantime, hashtag Firing Line submissions. If you are unable to upload to said channel, inform us in that same channel and we will work with you. That is my spiel. Thank you and good night. Oh, wait, I'm still here.
Yeah, that's good. All right. So yeah, just keep that in mind, folks. If you're feeling creative, I'm not looking at you, Travis. Not at all looking at you. Not even a little bit. Anyway, with all that done, hey, we're, like you said, we're about 13 minutes into the show. Let's look at a wrestling match.
A what?
A wrestling match.
Poor K.
Yeah, no, it's okay. We'll guide you through. And this match, now, most people are thinking, oh, well, it's the first match of the night. It's going to be a showcase. Ha-ha! No. Tonight's match is a tag team match featuring Vaporwave and the Forces of Nature. So this is, of course, these are two, at this point, top-tier tag teams in Flashbang. Mm-hmm. Vaporwave just recently had an opportunity at the Bone Warriors Tag Team Championship. And the Forces of Nature have a match coming up, correct?
Not necessarily. The Bone Warriors are not going to be fighting Forces of Nature just yet. It's D&D is next.
D&D, that's right.
Yeah, so maybe they'll get the winner of that match. But yeah, Forces of Nature actually have never had a 2-on-2 title opportunity for the tag belts.
And
that being said, Big Rock has won the first ever Monster Mash, so take that for what it's worth.
Yeah. And I don't know why I was in my head. I'm really out there tonight. Okay, great. So, Forces of Nature, Vaporwave. This is a good chance for both of these teams to make a showing, though, because as we said, Vaporwave very recently had that shot at the tag belts. And Forces of Nature, there's been a new energy in the Forces of Nature in the last few weeks. Big Rock, of course, besides winning that Monster Mash, holds the record for the most showcase wins. and did have a shot at Nero Napier for the World Heavyweight title. And it feels like there's just a new energy in Huge Main.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it's like life has been breathed into them.
Yeah, it's almost like he's a whole new person.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But, yeah, it's crazy. But
thanks, Tim.
No problem. This is what they tune in for. Is my Razor commentary.
Yeah. So with everything going on, yeah, it's always good to see these guys going. I think though with Apollo Hades in particular, he really has been chomping at the bit to prove himself and prove Vaporwave ever since they came up short against the Bone Warriors. As of course, as he will want to remind everyone, he's hotter than you,
and you know it.
Yeah, and as part of that hotness, he wants to show that he can take on anyone. And, who better than to take on, Big Rock? And, not to discount Huge Man, although I notice one thing, though, folks. Have you noticed that it's been a whole bunch of Apollo Hades?
It sure has. And it was a whole bunch of Apollo Hades until that happened.
Yeah. And that's because Vaporwave, his partner Aqualung took off again.
That's not cool.
He just vanished. And this is the second time now. The first time that happened, to be fair, it wasn't actually Aqualung.
But this time we don't know. We're assuming that it's Aqualung this time.
Yeah. And so poor
I will say there was some fun. You noticed that Aqualung, Apollo Hades was very hesitant to tag in at first and then kind of pick their spot. Mm-hmm. So you got to wonder if maybe there was some miscommunication that led to them just being like, you know what? You think you're so hot, you deal with it.
Yeah.
So the question is, can they get back on the same page?
Right. And let's remember that they're not a duo. They're a trio. How does this affect Rico Rose?
Yep. That's the next logical question is, what does Rico think about all this?
So yeah, everyone's like, well, this has happened twice, but it hasn't. That first time was Graven doing Graven stuff. But now it happened with Aqualung, we assume.
Well, I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Tune in tomorrow.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So speaking of tuning in for things and recent events, as one of the more interesting developments, not just on Flashbang, but in MNW in general, has been a growing inter-brand feud. And that is a growing feud between Flashbang's own Doom and Warzone's main event Mex.exe, which culminated with Doom appearing at the Gowl pay-per-view and providing an assist to VIP in order for them to take Meme's Trios Championship.
It's important to note that was in retaliation to Meme interrupting Doom's Breakdown 5 match and basically going Meme 3K on them.
Right. So with this back and forth, Mad Jack came to the ring just to revel in his own cleverness.
As the prophecy foretold, the title reign of the main event Mex was doomed. And now that the power balance has been restored in the universe, I believe it's time for Doom to move on to what is really important, and that is the Flashbang Tag Team Championships. Because if you can believe it, we've never had a shot at the Boone Warriors. That's right, one of the oldest teams in MNW, Magic and the Night Reaper Zerikis, have never, ever fought the Bone Warriors 2-on-2. That's just preposterous. So, what I propose is simple. And Brass, correct me if you've heard this one before, but...
I had a question, Magic. What is it about organics that constantly makes them so stupid? Devoid of probability, devoid of simple logic. You didn't beat Meme. All you did was screw Meme.
look, everyone, we're dusting off the very end of the bench. Here is the 12th man of Flashbang in to close out the game in overtime. Oh, wait, no, don't tell me. It's a man made of iron. Yes!
Majak, your whole career you've been a puppet on a string, dancing around for whoever had the money or influence to use you, and now you think you're free, but you're not. You're just a pawn.
Ooh, we're playing chess now, are we? Interesting. Well, if you're playing chess, then allow me to give you some information about the game of checkers that I've been playing, because you clearly haven't been paying attention, man of iron. Remember, I actually have a profile around here. I've been on pay-per-views.
And that is why tonight, I will begin to make a name for myself at your expense. Because tonight, you find out why synthetics are indeed better than organics. And as you can see, there are no strings on me, pawn.
You know, I thought everyone would see the symmetry of us coming back to the prison of the Inquisition to screw me. It was a great story, but it was clearly lost on you, man of iron. But I accept your challenge because I would like to make an example out of you too, that people really should stop interrupting my promos.
So there we have it. We obviously have mech solidarity. And
that's unfortunate. Well, not quite. At least Lasume is still a good bot.
That's true. You know, we've got him.
By the way, best of 7 when? When do I get my best of 7?
Yeah, really. That's very interesting. Now that
1-0 Lasume, Malice. Why are you running?
But and then Mad Jack. One of the things, and maybe we'll touch on this later, but we talked earlier about Big Rock being the only winner of a Monster Mash thus far, because we've only had one. But during the Monster Mash, the Cyber Controller eliminated himself. He just like, you know what? Screw this. I'm out. Whereas Mad Jack's partner, Genericson, also eliminated himself, taking out Fuck Him Wang. Just an odd moment of symmetry between the two teams. Between the two.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that won't come into play at all. I mean, that's
not even a little bit.
That's just a coincidence. No, it's just. So speaking of which, so despite my little mental faux pas earlier about who is our number one tag team contenders, the truth is the number one contenders for the Bone Warriors belt are our inaugural Flashbang tag team champions, Dungeons and Destiny. And in a warm up to that match that is coming up sometime in the future, we have one half of the champions, Spike, coming out to take on Lord Bareback of D&D. And this is interesting because a lot of people, when they look at both of these teams, Burden is looked at as the power player of Bone Warriors, and Drathulu, of course, as the power player of D&D. But I think this match is a good one to show that whatever you do, don't sleep on the other two guys.
No, never.
Because
especially not when they're former tag champs, the first ever tag champs.
No. And or in the case of Spike, a lot of people are like, oh, well, Spike is there, but they always win because of Burden. And I think, and we've even seen this in recent matches. Underestimating Spike is always a bad plan.
It's an extremely bad plan. So, and I think this is an opportunity for him to prove that that's a terrible way to look at things.
Yeah. So really, this did turn out to be just a fascinating match, because also it went back and forth all night. The whole time they were fighting. You couldn't say that one had a distinct advantage over the other. A lot of great spots. And in the end, Bareback is as every bit as capable of carrying a match as his brother. And Spike is every bit as capable of carrying a match as his partner.
Well, people need to remember that Bareback winning in a singles competition, a showcase match, is the reason D&D had the opportunity against Hell's Kitchen, and then were able to win that match to get a shot at the Bone Warriors. So Bareback winning a singles-type matchup is the whole reason they're here. So, of course, he's a good competitor in singles competition.
So this is also, I think it's a good reminder to the crowd of Dungeons and Destiny, because they've been absent for a little while, and a lot of people, we may have had audience members that aren't as familiar with their work as some of the old time crowd.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end,
looking one more time for the Spike
and
pile driver.
there it is, the Spike pile driver. And it's a brutal move.
Oh God!
You've been spiked.
And there it is. So Spike comes out on top, although not a shameful match on Bareback's part at all.
No, not even a little bit.
So this very much shows it's a competitive matchup that I'm sure we're going to see a lot of back and forth leading up to the inevitable title match. Although, despite doing well in the match, you can tell Bareback is just not happy with his own performance.
No.
And understandably so.
Yeah.
I mean, as we said, he won that 8-man showcase. He thought he was on a bit of a roll. And, Spike kind of reminded him, hey, we're the champs for a reason, whether we're in a tag match or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, of course, earlier this evening, we, at the top of the show, saw the back and forth between Johan Mjoln and Tigiri and Nero Napier, with obviously the implication that Mizuki is right there with him. But it's worth noting that as much as you might think this is leading up to something between Johan and Nero, Nero's number one contender isn't Johan. Nero's number one contender is the Omnislayer Artemis. And Artemis came to the ring to drive home that very fact.
It's funny. I was listening to Nero run his mouth about Johan Mjoln, but I had to do a double check because the last time I checked, I was your number one contender, and Johan was going after Wiley, and now I'm hearing all this stuff about who the bigger power couple is. Maybe you should stop worrying about Johan and his wife and start worrying about how your title reign ain't gonna make it to a year because Artemis is gonna put a stop to it. So what you need to realize is you need to stop messing around with other people and focus up on me. So I went and I pitched an idea to the lawyer, and he kind of liked it. So tonight, it's not gonna be a tag team match with two teams. Oh, hell no. It's going to be a trios tornado tag. And I've already got my partner lined up. And before you start worrying about my partner, don't worry about it. It's still going to be an intergender tag. And it's somebody else that's wanted to get their hands on you for a little while. And I think you'll appreciate it. Oh, and Johan, I've wanted to kick your ass ever since you stabbed us in the back. So believe me, whichever one of you I lock in that hold on, it's going to be night-night. So saith the Omnislayer.
Well, so I guess card subject to change.
Card subject to change?
Yeah.
Yerp.
Yep, that's but it's some interesting points. I mean, Artemis is the number one contender for Nero's belt, and Artemis, like many members of Fate, aren't happy with Johan. So really, I think the only outstanding question is, who did Artemis get to be his partner? Now that and since he said, it's going to be an intergender match, you naturally start doing the calculus of the females of the roster, who would he get? Mm-hmm. But we'll find that out soon enough. I'm sure it'll be exciting, and I'm sure that this will lock it down, a triple threat tornado tag team match for the main event, and that's locked in now. That's certain. I'm sure. Hey,
totally.
Earlier we'd mentioned that a lot of people had been surprised that we had a total of of 2 matches that were, a tag match and a singles match to kick off Flashbang. But it wouldn't be Friday Night Flashbang without the signature match of the show, the showcase match. And so coming in for the 3rd match of the night, the showcase match, the Bad CG Ghosts, Lasumi 01, the robot we were talking about earlier, our good mech boy. Victor Vicious, a man I'm sure is not happy that his team lost last week to the Time Bandits. Brawl Kaiser, our Takahatsu hero. Grim Reaper making a rare showcase appearance. And Ramoond coming down, I'm sure just chasing after the Grim Reaper. Of course,
or the sheep.
Everyone's favorite, Sheepy. And then the Doof. The Doof who since he spent the money, we figured might as well get our money's worth out of this entrance. Now, we paid for it. And the Flashbang.
Oh, boy, did we pay for it.
Yeah, so might as well show it. Anyway, so now, a interesting mix of these matches. Several previous showcase winners in this match, with a couple who have yet to have that distinction.
I know you love keeping track of how many, because we just recently crossed the threshold for having a showcase match of strictly 2-time winners. So now the question is, how many 8-man showcases can we have?
Well, that's actually a great question. And as of last week, we did end up with having 9 people winning multiple matches.
Oh, was it 9? Okay.
Yeah. So this matchup makes it a potential of 10, depending on who wins. So the real so the Doof gets eliminated. Thankfully, well, no, I mean, come on, we'll be fair to the Doof. I'm sure he'll do great one day.
One day,
one fine day.
And there's that discus clothesline that Vicious likes to use.
Yeah, he's definitely got that down. He's making his moves.
And look at this, he waits for the Grim Reaper to be put down by the Starbuster, and then turn around, Brawl Kaiser.
Yeah.
Targeting the good boys.
About his normal style.
Yep. First Ghost, and then Brawl Kaiser. He had people fired up.
He did, and he gets him out, and then not to waste opportunity.
He's like, well, he did get hit with a Starbuster. Let me try to get rid of Grim Reaper.
Yeah, and then that discus clothesline again.
But Reaper stays on his feet. Sheepy about to catch the reboot.
And
poor Sheepy.
Yeah.
1, 2.
No, Sheepy.
Yeah, Sheepy. Sheepy always a fan favorite, but and he does well, but it's not bad days happen.
Always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
I mean, he actually is a previous showcase winner himself.
True.
So. And then you have Lasume trying to take down the Reaper.
He doesn't fear him, that's for sure.
Not at all. I suppose when you're a robot, the concept of human mortality just doesn't apply.
Now Reaper catches that reboot. Again, we talked about Lasume before being the only good bot that I think we've seen on either show.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Cool J Kyo's kind of neutral. We haven't really seen anything out of him.
Yeah, he's I think a lot of people kind of keep being reminded he is in fact a bot. He's a boxing bot.
Yep.
And with
a
that,
Rock'em Sock'em robot, if you would.
Yeah, Lasume wins the showcase and becomes the 10th competitor to win multiple showcase matches. So yeah,
now here's an interesting question. Is it Lasume or Lasume?
The problem is I've heard it both ways. You don't hear him refer to him.
Lasume sounds less intimidating to me.
Yeah. So I don't think I've ever heard him refer to himself in the third person, though. So
yeah, that's true. We'll have to get clarification on that.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I just kind of guess at it until somebody tells me I'm wrong. Like, Raymond being Ramoon because languages.
yeah, and that's until he actually
Or Burnout Vaughan being what it is.
being himself.
Yes.
That's that's what we're gonna go with himself. Burnout Vaughn being angry.
Burnout Vaughan.
Vaughan, yeah. I mean, Vaughn, Vaughan. I have heard it both ways.
Yeah, it's true.
So it's
Unfortunately, the Vaughn one is wrong.
Yeah, Vaughn is definitely wrong.
right. Well, we wouldn't go that way. That'd be crazy. Well, so all right. We already saw Artemis come in pointing out that he is the actual number one contender for Nero's belt.
So focus up.
Yeah, and that Johan, even though he's calling out Nero, he's actually the number one contender for Wiley's Interdimensional Championship. And with everything going on, and I'm sure just watching this nonsense happening, the Interdimensional Champion came to the ring because he also wanted to weigh in on everything happening tonight.
So it would seem that Artemis has once again made a very accurate point. It seems that Nero and Johan are not focused on the task at hand, which is a problem for you, heathen. And yet, as I watch this match unfold, I wonder if this is not fate tempting us all once again. Think of how the stars have aligned. Artemis with a chance to get his hands on Nero, and to tackle the betrayer of fate. It seems Artemis was destined for this contest. But that leaves me in a bit of a strange position, now doesn't it? So, if the brass will have me, I believe I know the perfect partner. Someone that would love to get their hands on many members of this particular matchup. So why don't we make it a 4-way dance? 2 champions, 2 challengers, 4 of the toughest women in this business. What more could you ask for from a main event?
So there you have it. I guess it's going to be all right. Now it's 8 competitors tonight.
Well, card subject to change.
That escalated quickly.
Mazel tov.
I mean, maybe these contenders should focus on their correct partners, and they wouldn't have people inserting themselves into their business.
That's true. It's I could make a lot of analysis of how we got here. And
it's ego. It's 100% Nero and his ego. When he saw a couple think that they were the more dominant force, he immediately had to say something.
Right. But then, looking at the other end, this seems on the Mjolnir side less Nero and more Tigery wanting to get a measure of revenge. So yeah, it's there's a lot of parties. Honestly, the people who make the most sense are Artemis and Wiley, who are like, excuse me, yeah, I'm right here.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, that's that. But it'll certainly be an interesting match. But of course, the question is still, who are Artemis and Wiley's tag team partners? Well, we'll find out in the main event. In the meantime, a special match, one we don't have too often on Flashbang, a Get Off the Schneid match. Eric, would you like to explain to the crowd what a Get Off the Schneid match is?
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know what a Schneid is, it's like being on a losing streak or having a string of disappointing events. And so getting off the Schneid is breaking that streak or getting back into a positive groove. And so a Get Off the Schneid match is an opportunity for 4 individuals in a very specialized match, much like a showcase, to all fight each other in an elimination-style fatal 4-way match. It's extreme rules, so you can do whatever you need to do to get that win. But it has propelled a lot of people towards superstar. People, I think DeLuna was in one of the first ever Get Off the Schneid matches, and you could see where his career went.
Right.
Not Jack the Questionable. Victor Vicious was in one of those before the Cartel took on House Caliban, and he's been on a winning streak ever since. So these matches have the ability to turn your fortunes and put you on a better path.
Yeah. So the 4 people who are looking to get off the Schneid, the aforementioned Cool J Kyo, our boxing bot.
Still looking for his first win.
Yeah. Zach DeWeaver, who has been on a losing streak of late. Jack the Questionable, whose fortunes have just changed in recent history. And then
didn't like that he was in this match.
No, not happy at all. And then Crimson Phoenix. Now, the Phoenix is probably the most interesting of all because with the issues that existed between El Pollo de la Muerte and the aristocratic Canid, El Pollo used the losing streak of the Crimson Phoenix as a prime example to the Canid about why Nero's offer of membership in Apex isn't all it's cracked up to be. And so that puts a little extra pressure on the Phoenix here to perform. And in the meantime, like you said, everyone in this match would like to get the win. Like to turn.
Also, DeWeaver just watched Lasume win an 8-man match, so he's thinking to himself, "Well, I only have to do half the work." So here we go.
Yeah, I'm sure. If you get right down to it, Lasume's probably not happy of all the negative comparisons he's been getting to Nitzig Gunk Goblin.
Yeah.
But so
the much Phoenix, like I'm sure Lasume doesn't like to be lumped in with all the other bots like Malice and Cyber Controller and the rest of Meme.
Yeah, but you have Jack the Questionable is eliminated by the Crimson Phoenix, and then the Phoenix comes down because if you're the Crimson Phoenix, you'd love to just eliminate everyone. Like we said, it's if nothing but the motivation of proving El Pollo wrong.
But then you see that boxer instinct in him, that big right hook.
Yeah.
And there goes Zach. And it's not easy to knock out an orc.
No. Although I think if you're a boxing robot, that maybe gives you a little bit of it.
Probably helps, yeah.
Yeah. But now it's the bot versus the bird.
And could you imagine if Cool J Kyo adds to Crimson Phoenix's embarrassing streak and pulls out a win for their first win? I mean, Phoenix in their mind is like, I've made it this far. I cannot lose to this, lossless or winless competitor.
Yeah. A lot of people were mentioning that there's other people that have absolute losing records not in here. But you know what? That's not what it's always about. It's people who are on a streak, people who need to get off the Schneid.
Mm-hmm.
And
because Jack the Questionable, there was a time where he was very dominant in the ring.
Yeah.
DeLuna still hasn't beaten him. But recently, his luck has not been great.
Right. And what would you call it? The spearing with the beak.
I don't know, the Phoenix Down.
Phoenix Down, yeah. I knew there was a name. But Cool J Kyo is not going to go down, not easily. As we said, he's looking for his first win ever. And
a nice reversal out of that leg kick. And then right here, this is something that we haven't seen before out of the Crimson Phoenix, a submission victory.
Yeah. And that was the surprise part, because a lot of people were like, oh, there's that Phoenix down. It's over. Bot comes back, and then it makes me wonder, maybe after everything that had been said, the Phoenix went into the gym, worked with Nero, who is a submission specialist.
Mizuki, Labrys. Yeah. I mean, there's a couple of submission users. I mean, even Zephyr Tail, we saw him get some help and utilize submissions. Maybe Phoenix did the exact same thing.
Yeah, and paid off. That Phoenix is off the Schneid. And that again, looking at what El Pollo was saying to the Canid, I'm sure that has to play in with, because at this point we had not yet heard from the Canid about their decision in regards to the offer to join Apex.
But now, having seen Phoenix make an example after El Pollo essentially called them out last week, saying, look at what Phoenix has done since joining Apex, not a lot. Yeah. The retort being, well, but they weren't even getting a look before Nero brought them in. So at least now they're getting opportunities. They just haven't capitalized. Yeah. So, depends on your perspective. You can spin almost anything.
That's true. But as you were saying earlier, Victor Vicious had been on the Schneid, won his Get Off the Schneid match, and then led the Cartel to a victory at Breakdown 5.
And then almost won tonight.
Yeah,
down to the final 2.
Did very well tonight in the showcase match. So there's a lot to be said about getting that getting the stink of the loss off you.
Yeah, it only takes one. It's just like a shooter in basketball. It only takes one to go through the hoop, and once you see that ball go through the basket, it changes your mindset.
Yeah. Now, the next thing, one of the big issues that has been coming up of the last few weeks, ever since Breakdown 5, when Graven lost to Earl King West, and this led to a heated in-ring confrontation with his former tag team partner, Henry Colt. So Graven has had the last week to stew over what happened with all of those events, and came to the ring to let us know where he's currently standing.
I get why everybody was frustrated the first time I did it with the Creation's Brain, and I get that even though we came out on top in that particular situation, I get it. It wasn't exactly the most, what the fuck is the word people use? Appropriate thing to do. It was the betrayal of a lot of people's trust, even though we got the job done and Prinny's gone. So I've had a week to kind of sit with my thoughts and figure out what went wrong against Earl King. And the fact of the matter is, he just beat me. The fact of the matter is, he might just be better than Dark Lord Prinny. And there's a reason why he used to go for the MNW heavyweight title back on Warzone. He was that good. That being said, I haven't forgotten why I came here and why I started doing what I was doing. I accomplished the first goal I ever set out to do, which was to bury Prinny alive. I haven't had as much success with Earl King and Colt, you're right. I shouldn't have done it the way that I did it. And I shouldn't have screwed you over in the process, so I'm sorry. And there's really no way that I can make that up to people. People already have their opinions of me. Whether you love me or whether you hate me, you're pretty much set on that. But what I know that I need to do is I need to get myself right. And there's something I need to take care of. So I'm going to be going away for a little bit. Not forever, but just to handle some personal business. There's something very important I got to take care of, and I need to make things right.
So there you have it. Sounds like the Chocolate Zombie is going to take some time off and, I don't know, pull himself back together. I've never seen Graven speak that way before, so I don't really know what's going on. Yeah, that was almost humility. Almost.
I was waiting for the Jeff Jarrett, I'm sorry. Sorry I didn't do it sooner. I was waiting for some sort of twist, he's still the same old Graven, but no.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, I said, because you were bringing this up while we were our mics are off. Do you want to tell everyone what you were just telling me about the cemetery?
Oh, yeah. So I was going through some old footage, and maybe either before or after the call out, I'll explain why. I watched the old Earl King match. And when Graven beat Earl King the first time, he reversed the jackhammer into the Seek and Destroy. When Earl King beat him this last time, he reversed that same move, that Seek and Destroy, into the jackhammer. And it's just, I realized that my brain works the same way, so I do that without thinking. And it was just perfect symmetry.
Yeah, and that's the whole, it's like, oh, well, that's a nice bookend.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, after we show this, with this next match, again, Buff Game, after we show this next match, there's something that it reminded me of, and we might talk about for a minute. But in game, so the next match, as has been going on for months now, you have Scott E. Stevens, the gentleman of MNW, has been waging a one-man war against Apex. And he's been racking up the wins, although he still can't seem to beat Labras. the Minotaur has been his kryptonite. But another person he hasn't really had a chance to even really face. I mean, I think they faced once, and of course, Scott lost, was Blight Howless.
Mm-hmm.
But as we know from reports from the Omni Geek, Blight Howless was recently attacked, and a poison had been administered that is disrupting Blight's lycanthropy. And despite not being in top form, Blight accepted a challenge to face Scott in the ring. So you have Scott coming out, his hat freshly returned, versus Blight Howless. And here, ladies and gentlemen, this is Blight Howless not at full lycanthropy.
Yeah, but not really fully human either.
Yeah, he's somewhere in between. So a lot of people thought, oh, it's his human form. That's not completely human. That's just not as wolf as he's been.
Yep.
Somehow, I don't think this is what they mean by a tweener.
And we could talk maybe above game. It might be the same thing you wanted to talk about, but you put it together where that came from.
Yeah.
So that might be it. Okay.
Well, that's because I downloaded the original. We can talk about it after the match.
But this was a good challenge for Scott. Although Scott made the argument, it's so interesting that he challenged me after he lost his lycanthropy, despite the fact that he's been able to change the whole time. So he could have nerfed himself at any point to fight me. But how interesting now that he has the excuse of, well, I can't be at full strength, that only then do you choose to fight me.
I mean, far be it for me to say, but well, I've said, Scott may have a point. He, as I'm sure he's want to make himself many times. But the thing I notice is, he may not be as hairy as he normally is, but his brutality seems to be undiminished. He's coming in just as hard and just as rough as he ever has. Still hits the howling. He was still biting fingies and everything you expect from Blight Howless. But Scott, I'm trying to remember. Scott is a resilient fighter. He can kick out as some of the best in the business. But it's still. I think a lot of people were just in shock. It's like when you see Blight Howless in the ring, there's an expectation.
Yep.
And seeing him like this, it does change your attitude about him, because I don't know if it's because he's a little bit more human. He seems a little bit more fallible. But and then Scott showing he has a solid submission repertoire. I mean, he had that match at Breakdown 5 versus Zephyr Tail, that no DQ submission match. So he's very comfortable in that, and that's always been stated as that would most likely be Blight's biggest weakness.
Yep. And into the master class. But the interesting thing, and this is the second time it's happened, you don't see any kind of a tap out there. You see the referee call it. So for the second time, Apex resists tapping out, but Scott once again proves his point.
Yeah. So Scott, now I guess this stands now. Who hasn't Scott beat in Apex?
It's just the Minotaurs. And of course, Nero, because he's even beaten Mizuki.
Yeah, so Scott has a lot of ground to cover. And, hang on a second. I'm getting...
we have to.
I mean, he wasn't on last week.
I know, it was nice.
So, we should... Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, on the phone line, we now have the man you just saw win that match. Ladies and gentlemen, the gentleman of the MNW, Scott E. Stevens.
You forgot to mention the man who has beaten 62.5% of Apex, a feat that no other member of the entire multiverse can boast.
Sure. I think I would have to run the math, but it sounds in the ballpark.
That's 5/8. Okay. Let's do the count. I've beaten Ravolos. I've beaten Zephyr Tail. I've beaten Blight Howless. I've beaten the Crimson Phoenix quite handily, by the way, and I've even forced Mizuki Napier to submit. That is 5 down and 3 to go.
Fair enough. Now, while that's true, it's not like you haven't taken on the Minotaurs. You've taken on Labrys twice. And so far, you've come up short on that particular matchup.
You are correct. And as I said, after Labrys beat me the first time, that I do not underestimate Labrys, nor am I going to underestimate his brother Satyrus. They are both freakishly strong, freakishly aggressive, and surprisingly adept in the ring. And that makes them a force to be reckoned with. And a force that for some reason Nero has under his control, that still baffles me to this very day.
All right, fair enough. So, all right, Scott, then I guess it stands. What happens the next time you find yourself in the ring with him?
Well, I'm simply going to try my very best to exploit his weaknesses, which I'm not going to reveal to you because that's a professional secret. I'm going to take advantage of any opportunity that presents itself to gain the upper hand and rely on my God-given strengths and talents to see me to the victory, because as has been shown on numerous occasions, I can't count on anybody, because nobody has had my back since signing the stupid position. I'm sorry, with the exception of Vaporwave. I know that they'll get really upset if I don't acknowledge them. Yes, Vaporwave, you've been there, and that's great. But by and large, nobody has been taking the fight to Apex like I have. Hell, with the exception of Napier's contenders, nobody's been taking the fight to Apex at all. So you're very correct in saying that I am waging a one-man war against Apex, because everybody is either afraid of them, too preoccupied with their own petty squabbles, or just in their pocket, maybe, in some cases. I don't know. But let me tell you, someone who's not in Apex's pocket is the brass. And that is why things have changed around here. And you have me to thank for that. What?
No, sorry, I'm allergic to lies.
Tell me, what did I say just now that is untrue?
If you had a secret on how to beat Labrys, you would have used it, because I know it really grinds your gears that you lost. Not once, but twice.
Did I say when I acquired that secret? No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mind your business.
My mistake. And then on top of that, it's not on you that the brass is against Apex. The only thing you did was get my broadcast partner suspended, which, by the way, eventually he's going to come back. And eventually he's going to deal with Kevin Blackwell for what he did. But very high on that list is you. And I really hope you've been practicing how to get out of arm bars, because I am looking very forward to the day where he snaps your arm in two.
I don't know if you've noticed, but I am a master of arm bars. I put Mizuki Napier away with my patented master class, which is a double arm bar. I made Blight Howless pass out. And kudos to him for not tapping out. You have a very strong will. Your brain might not be all there, because in not submitting, you risk permanent brain damage from lack of oxygen. But be that as it may, well, I am not worried about Mr. Rabbit at all. He should preoccupy himself. Let me finish talking, sir. He should preoccupy himself with Kevin Blackwell once he comes back. If he even has his general manager job intact, I really strongly hope that he's learned his lesson and stops playing favorites with his best buddy Nero Napier and his band of carnival folk.
That's one way to spin that particular story. I would also like to point out that while you say it's convenient for Blight Howless to challenge you while he is not even necessarily cleared to wrestle, we don't know what's wrong with him. I'm not exactly a member of APS, so I'm not given that kind of information, but you do have the ability to say no. But I think, and this just speaks to your demeanor in general, you haven't been able to beat Labrys, which means you don't stand a chance against Satyrus, which is why I question whether or not you could beat Nero Napier, because something those two have in common is they've never been pinned or submitted. So you can't beat Labrys. Don't look good against Satyrus. Probably can't beat Nero. So what do? You look at the other guy who's only lost once, and you go, if I can say that I beat Blight Howless, whether he's poisoned or not, I can say that I was only the second person ever, other than Y. Lee, to ever beat Blight Howless. And that's a really convenient talking point. It would make great in politics, but unfortunately, you're a wrestler, not a politician. And let me hit you with this fact. The fact of the matter is, no matter how much you brag about beating Blight Howless, the man was poisoned, and that's an ongoing investigation. So my question to you, Mr. Hardluck, if Tiki challenged you to a match tomorrow, would you say yes?
I'm sorry, who is Tiki?
Again, disrespectful. Just disrespectful. There's no need for that.
Well, so it's funny. I'm just backtracking on the logic that you presented to me. So you're saying since you think I have no chance against Labrys, I have even less chance against Satyrus, and even less of a chance against Nero. And I'm wondering where the logic is in that last part.
Oh, sure.
So are you implying that Nero is inherently more powerful than Satyrus Basilicus? Because I have seen no evidence to date to support that. Satyrus, to his credit, has annihilated everybody that has come into his path with no help from anybody else. Nero cannot say the same, and there is a countless amount of footage to support that statement.
Really? Because the last time that we saw Nero Napier one-on-one with anybody, he choked out Henry Colt. And no disrespect to Satyrus,
the last time.
Hold on, sir. Let me finish if you're going to call into question my logic. If we want to talk about stats and statistics, you can look at the caliber of wrestler that Satyrus has been in the ring with, and that's no disrespect to people like the Omni Geek or Electro Reality or anything like that, but a lot of them are tag team specialists or new up-and-comers.
Hang on a second, folks. Hang on. My Discord went crazy. Can you guys hear me? Hang on. We're experiencing some technical difficulties. Give me a moment, please. Hi, can you hear me? Let's try this now.
History. And then you also talk about Henry Colt. He beat the winner of the Monster Mash in Big Rock. All of those were without the help of Apex. So look, as much as I dislike Nero, and I even disagree with how Rabbit has treated them at points, you cannot deny that when it comes to being in the ring with the absolute best that MNW has. More than twice.
No, precisely twice. The chamber is a load of bull. I've said it numerous times, and I will say it again. He did not beat all 5 of those guys. One of them was eliminated before he even got into the ring. And by the time he did get into the ring, the other 4 men that were still there had been beating the hell out of each other for several minutes. All Nero had to do was pick up the pieces like a vulture. No, he does not get any credit for winning.
Gentlemen, please. You know what? I would respectfully ask that perhaps the two of you settle this tomorrow night somehow on Flashbang, but we have a program we need to continue.
Of course. And as always, thank you very much for giving me this platform upon which to speak the truth that no one else is brave enough to tell.
All right.
Good night.
Thanks.
Hashtag stand with Rabbit, you piece of trash.
And ladies and gentlemen, we were back. And then, real quick, Blood Game. My Discord screwed up, so we lost a little bit of what you guys were talking about.
That's totally fine.
But
it happened.
You'll just have to see it on YouTube.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Well, anyway. No, I couldn't hear you guys. That was the problem.
Oh, no.
And since it's all on coming through mine, yeah, that's what we lost. Anyway, that's fine. So, real quick. We talked about this before, but I want to talk about the model for Blight right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, and because I spotted this because shit, my Discord's gone out again. Hang on. Yeah, my Discord keeps having problems tonight.
It might just be Discord in general.
I think it's Discord's just having issues. Anyway, those in the early Flashbang days, and everyone was making characters, and a lot of us with 2K would be downloading each other's characters to try out against each other. One of the characters I had was Blight, the original Blight, who looks nothing like the Blight we've gotten used to.
Mm-hmm.
But looks a lot like the Blight we saw last week.
Yeah, that was the original Blight model, and I felt like if I'm going to use any kind of human form, it just made sense to use the original model as the base. The body, obviously, our Carver and I did a lot of work with. We changed the face. We had a lot of things to it. And yeah, so he always had that human form. I'm like, you know what? I can still use this. And that way, I forget who originally made the character. I think Wiley might have done some work on it. And I don't like throwing out other people's work. And it wasn't bad. We just wanted to make it more wolf-like. So we worked really hard on it.
Mm-hmm.
But it still worked as like a human in-between version. And then we could still edit that even further if we would need to make him more human.
Yeah,
that way, like Willie's design still lives on. We still get the new design. There you go.
Yeah, and Joe's confirming it was Willie. So
there you go.
So yeah. Anyway, and how you doing, Hard Luck?
I'm doing great.
You feeling better today?
Yeah.
Clearly, he brought the fire.
Yeah, he did. It was. Yeah, you take a week off. I guess you had to make up for it.
Yeah, something like that.
So, anyway. No, it was going great, but I've between my Discord beginning to have hiccups and everything, I was like, I better bring this down.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, thanks a lot, Hard Luck. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you,
dude.
Okay. And all right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back.
Scathing promos. Sorry, go ahead.
That's All right, now with everything we just were talking about with Stevens and discussing that match with the Crimson Phoenix. The other issue that, of course, has been going on is the aristocratic Canid has a match previously with El Pollo de la Muerte as a chance for El Pollo to make the point that maybe the Canid shouldn't join Apex. Well, now we go to the ring to hear the Canid's thoughts on that match and the offer from Nero.
But tonight has been interesting. While initially I had to agree with you, Pollo, it was a very lackluster performance by some of the people that Nero has recruited. The Crimson Phoenix looked awfully good here tonight. And Zephyr Tail has never waned. And we both know he never won until Nero took him under his wing. So that leaves me with a dilemma. No more sure of my decision now than I was a mere week ago. What I will tell you is this, Pollo. Whether or not I join Apex, I will not sign my allegiance over to you. I disagree with your methodology and your, what's the word? Empathy, your softness. As for you, Nero, I do respect your strength, but until recently, you could best be described as a coward. Someone who ducks challenges and uses his influence to get the job done rather than do it himself. Which means one thing. I'll stick to myself.
So there you have it. The aristocratic Canid giving their answer no to both. The Canid will stand alone.
Hey, Jerry.
Yes, Eric.
So this is normally a flashbang thing, but could you jiggle the cable a little bit? The monitor is being weird.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Normally
I have to jiggle the cable, but now you can jiggle it.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. You've heard about bugs in the system?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had cats in the booth earlier.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, so there we go. All right.
They've been code cats.
Your monitor working again?
Yeah, looks good to me.
All right. Yep. Great. Okay. So anyway, but honestly, when you look at the aristocratic Canid, they don't strike me as somebody that needs a group behind them. So
no, not necessarily.
Maybe going it alone is just the best choice. Although you got to figure
we'll have to wait and see, I think.
Yeah, Nero's probably not happy because this is two people he's made offers to and both have turned him down.
Right. And that doesn't happen.
No. On the other hand, he already has the largest faction in MNW.
It's true. The largest faction in MNW history. I think it rivals even the Order merging with the Faces of Fear. Because at their peak, I think they had like 8 members.
Yes.
And Apex is right around there, if not a little higher.
Yeah.
See, we got Revolos, we got Crimson Phoenix, Zephyr, Minotaur Brothers, Blight, Nero, Mizuki. That's 8.
So a tie then.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So I don't know that Nero needs anyone else, but that's. I'm sure Nero would disagree. Otherwise, he wouldn't have made the offers. I'm sure we'll hear about that again. In the meantime, as we saw earlier this evening, there was a in-ring confrontation between Mad Jack and the Cyber Controller that resulted in them making an agreement to have a match. Well, it's time for that match to happen. The following contest. And, first out, of course, the Pumpkin King himself, Mad Justice Jack. I think that's still a thing, isn't it?
Justice Jack, correct.
Justice Jack.
Trademark pending.
Trademark, yeah. So Mad Jack comes out, and I'm sure that this, he's ready to take on a bot. Totally prepared to take on a bot, just not the bot he thought he was going to take on. Because there's Malice.
Yeah, that's something we haven't seen since like 2019.
So this is now. I during this attack, a couple people have made some interesting comments. One of which is, if Malice was so hot to head over to Warzone, why does he keep coming back to Flashbang?
I mean, to be fair, this is the first time he's been back since.
Well, breakdown.
If we're not counting the pay-per-views, because the pay-per-views are big events, but he hasn't been back that much.
Okay, well, if we're not counting the pay-per-views, then yes, you're right.
Only 2 of the pay-per-views. He was at 4 and he was at 5.
Yeah. Well, either way, that match that was supposed to happen between Mad Jack and the Cyber Controller had to be reworked, as Mad Jack was backstage being attended to by our medical staff, and of course by that I mean Dr. Caliban.
Yeah, Dr. Caliban and whoever he hired.
Well, he's got all of house cat. So wouldn't we'll have to ask. Wouldn't surprise me if he's training Donkey Kong to be a medical assistant.
I mean, I'd believe it.
So, but you know what? As they say, the show must go on. And so, with one member of Dune down, his longtime partner Genericson, the Night Reaper, steps up to take on the Cyber Controller. So that's and if nothing else, it's the bot versus the armored warrior. I hate to make the comparison, but as we have Ultron taking on Doctor Doom in the middle of the ring.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, if somebody didn't know the characters, that could be an easy mistake to make.
Have a few drinks, squint your eyes.
Yeah. Although I think both would be insulted. Well, maybe Genericson. He's, he would be the first to point out, he doesn't rule anyone.
I did appreciate that. Apparently, Zako Duo was watching the show from the comfort of his, I guess, pod. I don't know where robots sleep. Like maybe closets, if Futurama is to be believed. But apparently, he was much more interested in the show when Cyber Controller showed up.
Yeah. I noticed that just as the match was starting, we suddenly were getting some attention. It's almost like he's scanning for things.
It's true. Can you charge Zako Duo on an iPod charger? Like an iPod dock?
I mean, you'd have to... you know what? I don't want to get close enough to check the ports.
Can I plug him into my clock?
I mean...
Maybe he's got one of those inductive chargers and he just stands on this pad at an angle for all night.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no, that would... Sure. I mean, that would be efficient. That's
how they make little Zakos.
Yeah. Boy, there was a thought I never wanted to have. Thanks.
Yeah, it's true. Oh, you know what? Maybe it's like electric cars where you just kind of plug them into the wall and they just kind of stand there. It seems inefficient, but it could work.
I mean, I don't know. At this point, we're putting into question the engineering skills of one Chaz Lee.
Which, if we've learned anything about Chaz Lee, he's a really good engineer. It's the rest of it that he's got to work on.
Yeah,
and also realize that it's not this Chaz Lee, it's the Chaz Lee in the alternate future.
Yeah, but it's all the...
Oh, yeah, so maybe this Chaz Lee's awful. We don't know.
It's true.
Anyway, what a matchup this is.
Yeah.
How nice of Zarek to help out his boy.
Yes, and honestly, I mean, this is a... you look at it initially, you'd think Cyber Controller would be in total control, but I think people have to remember just the various challenges that Zarek has faced in the past. I mean, when Doom took on the Inquisition, everyone was like, well, there's no way they're going to beat the Inquisitors. And they ended up going on to victory.
Yep.
But my thought is, I think a lot of people who are longtime fans of Friday Night Flashbang and maybe remember all the way back to Multivania, and that is, what happens if you attack a member of Doom from behind?
Nothing good.
Things happen, and so my first thought is, so we've had Mad Jack hit from behind, and then the Cyber Controller just defeated Zarek. As I said, I've recently been reviewing footage from Multivania and got a reminder of the true forms, or the other forms of certain individuals, which leads me to another absolutely terrifying thought.
I think I know where you're going with this.
Does Michael Macabre have another form?
It's a great question.
That's just... So, let's just say that I am going to be paying, if it weren't my job already, I would still be paying close attention to Friday Night Flashbang to see where this is going. So, with that, so we got some interesting footage. I got a note. I think it's came from the Omni Geek. Giving us a little inside scoop into his current investigations as he's going over footage. And he sent me this. Now, everyone understand, this track is strictly video. It has no audio whatsoever. And with that, we're behind the scenes. Now, this is apparently Graven. It's his other gear. Apparently, that's what he wears for outerwear when he leaves the arena.
Or he's going somewhere where he feels like he needs this. Because the last time we saw that, I think it was against Dark Lord Prinny. I think we've maybe seen it one other time.
One or two other. It's only what he wears for serious threats.
Yeah. Which, I mean, what does that say about where he's going then? Because I don't think he dressed up like that just to look good.
No. But he's having some kind of, I would say at least...
And kind of looking just like, if you read the body language, I don't think Kathleen is telling him what he wants to hear, but...
No, but she's also not, there's no aggressive posturing between either of them.
No.
It sounds like she's telling him what he needs to hear, though.
Yeah. Looked like it could have been some hard truths.
I guess of all of the people to talk to before you take off, there you go.
Well, especially because, I don't know if I've ever seen any interactions between Graven and Kathgina before.
No, but here's the one interesting thing. We know Graven is completely against Earl King. What's the one thing Earl King and Kathgina have in common? They're both Fae.
That's true.
That's correct. The only thing that links the two. So you've got to ask yourself, what in the world was he asking her? And what did she say in response that made him upset?
Yeah. So... Yeah, and it's hard to tell because all we have is body language to go off. There was no audio whatsoever. A lot of people didn't even know that was going on. Again, we happened to get that footage from the Omni Geek, I guess we'll have to, we'll just have to we'll try and keep track of this story as it develops. In the meantime, it's time for the main event for Friday Night Flashbang for February the 19th. And first off, we have Tigery and Johan Mjoln. And Mizuki and Nero Napier. So the original 2 participants in the match. Then Artemis coming to the ring. And this led to the question, who did he find? He found Nadja. One of the
first person to turn down Nero.
Yes, and then Wiley comes to the ring. And his partner, even more interesting, from Spectre Sonata, TK.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's a very interesting choices. Wiley, it makes perfect sense he would find Nadja. As you said, she turned down
Artemis, actually.
Or Artemis, yeah. She turned down Nero. So that's an extra way to get...
Also a pair of hunters. They both consider themselves hunters of some kind.
This is true. Now, before anyone starts shipping Artemis and Nadja, it's worth mentioning Nadja is a happily married woman and they have a child. So let's just not go there.
Actually, I believe I've checked with my sources. I believe that the child was had out of wedlock. I don't know if she has a significant other, but I do know she has a child.
I thought I read somewhere that she did have a partner, but I could be wrong.
Oh, maybe. I would. You know what? Let's get the statistician on it. Carla, do some research. Joe, interview. Call out time.
Yeah. Let's get Nadja in the interview.
Get Joe
I
on
need
it.
photos of Spider-Man.
I need pictures of Spider-Man now.
Now, and then on Wiley's side, getting TK of Spectre Sonata. That's interesting because as I think it's simply he picked who he thought would be the best partner he could find.
Well, and also it was TK that originally had Tigery debut on them and beat them.
Ooh,
so, I mean, there is history between those two, which is I think why Wiley went after TK.
Okay. So in both cases, the partners were chosen for some honestly good strategic purposes.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me wonder how this is going to play out, because for the gentlemen in the match, it's very clear how they're interrelate with each other, where the cross rivalries are. For the ladies, there's a bit more question, but we could see things developing from this very match. Especially because, I mean, a lot of this started, as we said, animosity.
And look at the power of that move.
Oh, yeah. And there you have it. And that's, you know what? You talk about the issues between Tigery and TK. TK just pinned her husband.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people can say...
Legitimately surprising.
Yeah. Look at that. You look at... I think a lot of people forget that she is a spirit creature, and you can't judge her strength by her frame.
A Nekomata, I believe.
Yeah, certainly, I mean, it's not many people that can just pick up and slam Johan Mjoln and then pin him.
So we just got a tweet out from Nadja that she and her significant other met on the battlefield. Her daughter was born from another, so
right.
We were both right.
Okay, so yeah, she does have a child and she does have a partner. Just wasn't the assumption I made was due to a spurious corollary. But and hearing from Nadja herself, I mean, you can't do better than getting it from the source. Takes me back to my whole thing. Don't be shipping Artemis and Nadja. That's inappropriate. She has a mate.
She will hurt you.
She will hurt you.
She will. She's showing herself quite capable.
I was going to say, you don't need to fight Nadja's battles for her. She will do it herself.
Although I'd still love to hear Nadja on a call out. Just, well, and with that, now it's time for the Flashbang moment of the week. But as always, before that, ladies and gentlemen, a word from our sponsor.
Every day on a wrestling show, hundreds and thousands of ladders are being misused and mistreated by the competitors around the world. Some are being used as blunt objects to beat your opponents down. Some are being used as makeshift tables to throw all your problems down onto their fragile spines. And some ladders are just being left on the ground, neglected and unclimbed. But with a small donation, you too can get a ladder to sit upright and be used to climb to greater things, instead of being used to make a new imprint on Wilson, son of Will's face.
What the fuck? Ah! Fuck my nose!
So donate to the Step Up Society today and help end their suffering from all this collateral damage.
It's even worse now!
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, representing Doom, weighing in at 236 pounds, he is the Mad Pumpkin King, Magic!
So Magic with an opportunity to put the cyber controller in their place, and he looks to, wait a second, that's Malice! He doesn't belong here! Malice with a chair! And here comes Malice! Pure, absolute Malice! No, look out, Magic! From behind! From behind with the chair! Malice is just blasting Magic with this chair! What the hell?
Every day on a...
The following contest is scheduled for one fall.
And okay, there was our technical difficulty moment, but we're back. All right, so there you have it, moment of the week. So above game, Bosco, you wanted to lay something out to the community.
Oh yeah, so I created something, and I like the firing line squad group. I don't know what you call them. That's appropriate. But I like you guys that tune into the show. You're very loyal. It's a very small group of you guys. So I wanted to throw something out as kind of like a thank you for everybody who tunes in. I have a spoiler for tomorrow. It's something that I'm going to debut for the entire community tomorrow. But if you guys want a sneak peek, I can give it to Caliban, and at the end of the call out, he can have it queued up and ready to go. Or if you'd all like to wait until the show to find out what I'm talking about, you're more than welcome to do that too. But I kind of wanted to throw that out there for you guys because I don't want to spoil anybody who doesn't want spoilers. Also, it would give, if people do want to see it, it'll give people the chance to like, hey, come back in like 120 seconds.
All right. Well, I don't know. I'm kind of seeing a little bit of yes, a little bit of no. So I'm wondering if maybe the
just make a poll.
Maybe we should just make a poll.
I'm getting ready to engage democracy here.
Yeah, engage democracy, and then what I'll do is on the other side of the call out, if the yeses win, then I'll go ahead and let him show what this spoiler is, and if not, then we'll not do it. But it'll also give anybody who doesn't want to see it the chance to kind of like, all right, mute the page for like 60 seconds, and we'll type in the chat when it's over.
All right,
if you
guys,
just want to pause the video.
I have set up a poll. I've set it for 2 minutes.
If you look above chat, you'll see it there.
Tell us no, and I'm going to bring in Joe.
Do it.
Waiting. Speaking of the firing line crew, hey Joe.
Hey.
How's it going, dude?
Yo.
All right. A little tired, but that's me every day.
Oh, and real quick, 100 bits from Cryptic Saijan. Dungeons and Destiny are looking forward to taking back their title tomorrow. I don't think it's going to be tomorrow. Bareback's loss against Spike was unfortunate. However, D&D's true strength is in their teamwork, which is why we will have our ultimate battle tomorrow. Roll them bones. It's time for initiative. The title match isn't tomorrow, is it?
No, not that I'm aware of.
I think there's some assumption being made there. Guys, remember this isn't Warzone. Even title matches get build up.
Yeah, they literally just won, and we just had a singles match to kind of build them together. I don't think it's happening tomorrow, Cryptic. However, there might be a fight between the teams in some capacity. So technically, we could still roll them bones, and it's time for initiative because you can have. It won't be the ultimate battle, but a battle. It kind of works. We'll see what happens. Maybe it'll be Drathulu versus Burden. I don't know. That would be weird just to have the other two members of a team. Yeah, it's probably going to be that. So it'll probably still work.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, poll time is almost over, and
it's looking pretty clear.
You're good, Cryptic.
It is looking pretty clear. I mean,
ladies and gentlemen, cast your votes now.
Well, and this is why you do things like this. I mean, it's a lot easier to get a tally if you do like a poll.
Yeah. Also, for anybody that says they don't want spoilers, we can let them know, like, hey, press pause now, and then I guess Storyteller can type in the chat when it's over, and you can just hit play again, and you're back up in your live.
Yeah. It'll be fun. We'll take care of it. But yeah, it looks like people want the spoiler. So
okay, cool.
Let's go with your plan. We'll head over to this week's call out, and this time I usually, I just for ourselves, for the crew here, we usually pay attention to how long it is because we get to take a little break in the middle of the show. But I'll tell everyone outside because I always check the timestamp when Joe sends me a call out. This particular call out is 7.5 minutes.
Oh, snap.
So, and it was a call out. It was one of those that made me very happy when he sent it to me because I was like, oh, cool, you got them. In part because I feel a personal connection to this particular wrestler and their player because
I know who this is.
Yeah, because we arranged the adoption right here on Firing Line. So, Joe, do you want to set up or?
Is anyone in the chat familiar with Chekhov's gun? That's all I gotta say.
No, I'm only familiar with their cats.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the call out with Joe Mojo this week interviewing Forrest the Fortress.
Thank you, Firing Line, and welcome back to the call out. My name is Joe. My next guest, he is 1/3 of the Absolute units. He is the accountant of Absolute Hair Care Products. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Forrest the Fortress.
You know it's been a minute before I've been inside. Yeah, I swear on it all, I'm gonna get it out. I'ma go hard, I'ma go hard, I'ma go hard. Let's go. I'ma go hard, I'ma go hard, I'ma go. I'ma go.
Forrest, thank you for joining us.
Hello, pleasure to be here.
Forrest the Fortress, 1/3 of the Absolute units and unfortunate former tag team champion. For those who have never heard of you before, what can you tell us about yourself?
Well, when not in the ring, I am the accountant for Absolute Washers and Hair Care. And I'm a certified public accountant across all the higher and lower planes. Mama always said, no matter what you do, always have something to fall back on.
For sure. And those dog toys are work expense, I promise.
We can discuss your itemizations later.
But how did you come across the Nexus to begin with?
I came over when Washington did. He told me his plan, and I came along to help keep him out of trouble. You know that the IRS is a hive mind that stretches across all planes? Their laws are pretty much the same everywhere.
You know, I've interviewed Eldritch Horrors, Monstrosities, and Wilson Son of Will, but that had to be the most concerning and terrifying thing I have ever heard in my life.
That's why I'm not scared of anyone I encounter in the ring. A 10-foot-tall entity with a flaming skull and bat wings wanting you to explain someone's itemized deductions? Now that's scary.
Good God. Moving on. How did you, Absolute Washington, and TJ Mint meet up? Was it the usual job hunting process?
TJ and I have been friends since high school. I wasn't the wall of flesh I am now. Well, I was, but more fat than muscle. We all decided to get in shape together.
No offense, but that is a little hard to believe. I mean, your nickname, The Fortress, is very apt given your size and strength.
I was an immovable object even back then. My weight has stayed the same. It's just all muscle now.
Has this nickname carried over into your career in finance, being immovable?
I stand behind every client, literally. I stand there and stare back at the auditors. They always blink first.
You, Washington, and TJ have been friends since high school, so how did Absolute Hair Care begin then?
Even then, he spent so much on styling products. We told him, with all he knows about it and how it works, he should just make his own and sell it. So he ran with it.
How about getting into wrestling? TJ, from what I've got on my notes here, is a very accomplished boxer, so transitioning into wrestling shouldn't have been a hassle. What made a boxer, an accountant, and a hair care tycoon join MNW?
Alcohol. Actually, while we were in school, the three of us got into our fair share of fights. We worked well together then. When we heard of MNW, we were like, how hard could it be? Turns out, very hard. But also a lot of fun.
When you three joined, what was the overall thoughts of Warzone?
Let's be honest, we weren't very good. We lost every match. People got to be like, oh, them again? This will be over quickly. We weren't any better than the jobbers. The only difference between them and us is that we had better music. But then, we started learning. We went back over our matches to see what went wrong. And we started to get better. It was a slow process, but we started to show results by the time of the Royal Rumble.
You and Washington proved that time and time again, especially after gaining the tag titles at the C101.
Yeah, we surprised everyone with that, including ourselves. There was that moment of, wait, really? Oh yeah.
Sadly losing to the Faces of Fear on the same night.
The Faces of Fear. The less said about them, the better. But yeah, we were tired, and we couldn't maintain the level we needed to win.
But you did gain those back against the Funky Beats. How did it feel to officially become the Tag Team Champions?
My exact thoughts were, sweet baby Kaiju Jesus, this feels good.
No. I am not asking about that. She is She is a colleague and does not deserve such slander.
Is there a problem?
Brad, the wolf guy over there, asked about your relationship with Jojo, the ring announcer. Given the nature of promos and the Night Before Christmas promo this past December, but I, given the intent of said question, believe we should move on.
She is a lovely lady. But thanks to the kind folks at 1-800-DON'T-DATE-THE-CRAZY, I've moved on.
So you lost your titles at the Gowl.
All good things come to an end, but this is only a temporary thing. We will get them back, barring any interference from certain parties. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't slightly annoyed at how things went down. Still, congratulations to the new champs.
The Faces of Fear was a surprising addition to that match, skipping ahead from the multi-men matches earlier in the night.
Yes. They chose to insert themselves where they didn't belong. It's a decision that they will come to regret.
So what will the Absolute Units do going forward?
Well, now that we've established ourselves as a legitimate presence, we can do or try for anything. Who knows? Maybe we'll grab Max and go for the trios belts.
Max Tex did pop a lot of people in the chat.
He does want all the belts.
That he does, but with all this being said and done, as we are winding down here, is there anything that you would like to tell the Firing Line audience?
Thank you for welcoming me to MNW. I greatly appreciate it. And remember to file early. Now, about those dog toys.
Two things are inevitable in this world: death and taxes. I would like to thank my guests for joining us, and if you would like to see the Fortress in action, please tune in to twitch.tv/Takahata101 Saturdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for MNW Warzone. This has been Joe, signing out.
And there's the call out with Forrest the Fortress. And special appearance by Brad. So, okay, real quick, how many people, because Brad is an old joke in the community. Do people remember where Brad came from? I mean, you do, Joe. You don't count.
I mean, I'm just saying, I kind of he was technically supposed to be like a one-off person that the original Blight just pretty much knocked out. So, Caliban saved him, and I just was like, you know what, fuck this. Let's make this make this a reoccurring bit.
So he was, when we had the meta that everyone during an interview was attacking the cameraman. I decided to do the reverse joke, and it was Dr. Caliban coming up with a means for the cameramen to defend themselves. And so he subjected him to a Jekyll Hyde formula that turned him into a wolf person. Now, if we want to retcon that he's one of the guys Blight attacked, I have got no problem with that.
Oh, see, I thought that's why he was a wolf person, because you said latent DNA from Blight Howless.
Well, no, I said latent DNA. He had latent lycanthropy that Dr. Caliban manifested. That's all. Anyway, we're getting down a hole thing that we did back in the earliest days of Flashbang. Let's focus on the now of Flashbang. So, that thing you all voted on, that preview of tomorrow night, I have it loaded up. So if anyone doesn't want to see it, pause the stream now, and when it's over, Storyteller will put an all clear in the chat.
Yep, because we'll probably talk about it very briefly before we jump into Warzone,
Right.
and then when it's all safe, just look when Storyteller posts. That's when you know it's safe to hit play again. So hit pause right now.
3, 2, 1.
Everything we had behind. Down the road, brothers out and over. Nothing to lose, nothing but time. Are you sure you wanna take this road now? Are you certain that you're gonna win? Did they tell you that it could be over? Over and done before you begin. Everything you know will not prepare you. Nothing's gonna change if you resist. Everything you got, bring it on, we tell you. Nothing can compare to this. It's an avalanche. It's a critical mass. It's a massive attack. It will kick your ass. Bring the fire, you'll take no chances. Start the fight, we'll bring your answers.
Well,
God damn it.
That's a thing.
Huh? Would you look at that?
So, what do you want? So, we got a new intro? Is this what I'm getting?
Maybe. I will say, for those of you that were spoiled, that's not finished. There's a couple of other things I want to add. There are some people that are not in there that are not in there, obviously. So I'm trying to get as many people into that as possible that are active on Flashbang. So, number one, if you didn't see yourself in there, it's okay. I'm going to try to edit it, but I don't know if I can get 100 people in there, but I'm going to try. So, that being said, yeah, we have an intro. Also, the graphics were made by an Ethernet cable. They're about 4 months old. I've been trying to get them in there, and that's not all that I have. But for that, you'll have to tune in tomorrow. But yes, that logo was made by an Ethernet cable. He was very kind. There's some other assets that he made for fun. Yes, the player for Revolos. But yeah, so for the Firing Line folks, I wanted to show that to you. It's the early cut. I did that last night. Yeah.
All right.
Problems.
So let's give everyone the all clear.
Give the all clear.
Okay, and before we move fully over to Warzone, any spoilers or any previews
besides the spoilers?
Besides what we just showed.
Yeah.
I just said it was clear.
I know.
I said previews. I meant previews, not spoilers. Previews are allowed.
Yeah. It's fair. Let me think. Is there anything that I can really? Tomorrow we're going to get an announcement because we have 3 contenders for 3 different titles. You will find out when some of those titles will be defended.
Le gasp.
All right.
So that's the reveal for tomorrow that I can tell you. Also, there's something really big on the horizon.
Ooh.
I don't know if it'll happen tomorrow, but there's something really, really big on the horizon, and I'm very excited for it.
All right, cool. Hey, Joe, before we end your portion of this call, anything interesting coming up with the Callout?
I don't know.
Okay,
So like if I'm being completely honest, I try and keep it as open as possible. I saw that, Tim. Anyway, and I try and keep it the scheduling at least as open as possible. I have asked someone if they want to do it, but scheduling conflicts, that's kind of the biggest pain in my ass. Sure. But I don't get a guest until about after Flashbang or after Warzone, which I'm going to try and get a Flashbang person for this upcoming one. I think I did like 3 Warzone people in a row.
Okay, well, but you've had stretches of both, so it's...
yeah.
So what you're saying is the next call out, Jim Mojo interviews Eric Genericson.
What I'm saying is, hey, everyone, hit me up.
I mean, I'll come on there as Eric Genericson because I can't be the MVP.
I mean, you could be, but we can't afford him.
That's true.
Yeah. All right, thanks, Joe.
Could you come on as the MVP's biggest fan, though?
No. As a Hoosier, I have to say no.
You're right, because besides, it wouldn't be the MVP or Eric; it'd be the lawyer.
Oh fuck no! That is the worst one.
Yeah, see, Zaco says hit up the MVP. He does good work.
All right, thanks,
Zaco. Thank you, bud.
All right.
That's all I got to say.
All right, Joe. Talk to you later. I'll see you in Valheim. And of course he's gone. Yeah, because that's how that works. All right. Anyway, what the.
Well, that happened.
No, it's a Zaco.
Yep.
Oh, I appreciate you, Zaco.
What did he mean Joe for? I don't know what he's talking about.
He meant Joe does.
Don't dignify him with a response. We have to get on to work.
I have to be nice. He and I have a watch party later tonight.
For what?
WandaVision.
Oh, I forgot how much of a nerd Zaco is. It's easy to forget, but then you realize his entire character is a self-insert Gundam, and he's going to watch WandaVision with you.
Hey, he's my friend. Be nice.
No.
Okay. I mean, fair.
Would you be nice to a Reddit thread if it came to life? No.
Hey, I am friends with Burnout Vaughn.
I'm sorry.
So, now I'm going to get... All right. You know what? Before we go to...
That's true. He's not 4chan. Fair enough.
That's true. That's true. You know what? You're right. I apologize. Yeah.
You are 100% right.
Burnout Vaughn is a 4chan thread come to life.
4chan came to life, won the tag belts, and got banned.
Yeah.
Anyway, Warzone time.
Warzone. Hey, you know what? So for Flashbang, the theme was the intergender tag team match. The whole night was really building up to that moment. Warzone had a similar theme going in, where everything was building up to the Money in the Bank match.
Yep.
Where majority of the matches that occurred were for a slot in that Money in the Bank ladder match towards the end of the show. And with that said, the first of those matches was one of 2 fatal 4-ways that happened during the show. Those featuring, and still apparently having to turn in his Money in the Bank, Rapture New Road, One Chance, which I'll read those bits in a minute, Burnout, Phoenix Hallex, and Peng Chi. And 100 bits from Burnout Vaughn. Can we start a petition for Forrest to audit Juan off the roster?
Truth.
So, yeah.
Hey, at least he's not part of Omega Club.
This is true. No, apparently he's more Omega adjacent.
Yeah.
And that's it's more like he's friends with
Do you guys want a Warzone spoiler?
Sure.
All right. So it's going to be a vague one. It won't be as blatant because it's not my show, but there is a new member of Omega Club.
Ooh.
I talked to Kurt because the group's always had 4 people. So there is a new member of Omega Club. Who is it? Tune in on Saturday.
Well, there we go.
There you are.
But yeah, this is so this, of course, a lot of people had their eyes on Rapture New Road for this match, in part because Rapture had already been a 2-time Money in the Bank holder. And so a lot of people wondered if he was going to go for 3. Whereas everyone was also keeping an eye on Juan in the, oh God, please anyone but Juan. I think that's a fair statement.
Keep up the great work.
At least that was my observation of the crowd.
Hey, face forward, face buster.
I made the mistake of reading Rosso's comment.
Yep.
That was your first mistake.
That was my first mistake. All right. So anyway, as we were saying, Rapture, New Road, everyone's paying attention. But you know what? The thing
Has Cryptic named that move?
I don't know.
Sorry, that was an above game question. I didn't mean to blurt that out.
No, and I realized it was an above game question. I realized I don't know. I haven't heard him. He's in the chat.
The Tour of the Islands, his spinning power slam. I don't know if he's ever actually named it, and I know he's here.
Yeah, Cryptic, if you've named that, let us know.
Yeah.
Inquiring minds want to know.
I think he calls it the enrapturing sub, but that's what Kirk calls it. I'm curious if Cryptic actually gave it a name.
You know, or Cryptic could have, like many people, just, that's what Kirk calls it. Fine, I'll go with it.
True.
Well, you know what? If Cryptic, if you're still out there, which why wouldn't you be? You'd want to stay around for your own stuff. Especially because, as we said, people were looking at Cryptic whether or not he'd win that match.
Yep.
He won that match. Cryptic, and by Cryptic, I mean Rapture New Road, is going to the be in the Money in the Bank match, which immediately has people going, oh my.
Oh my.
Oh my. Okay. Now, this next match.
Yeah, he's named none of them apparently, so I'm not crazy.
All right. So,
well, at least not that because of that.
Yeah. This next match is a tag team match. Now, I was initially unclear, although it does seem one of them did end up going, if this would have anything to do with the Money in the Bank or not. But either way, an interesting team up. Registered Anon teaming with the Toxic Wastelanders, teaming with Notorious CAT or Toxic HR Gains versus the UK Spitfires and the Eastern Bloc Party, or as we're calling them, Eastern Bloc Spitfires.
That's so creative. You took the name of one and put it with the name of the other.
Yeah, and they can't. I can't take credit for that last one. That was Carlos.
Got it.
The first one was Tim. Either way, and the only thing I'm really thankful for is for once Notorious CAT is on the other side, so that while we did have to look at Lock-ins behind during the whole show, we didn't have to have that bird on the center of Cat's back staring at us the entire match.
Boy, I sure do love rope breaks. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah.
Right. And this match, and Tim, correct me, Pete, correct me if I'm wrong. Was this match at all involved in the Money in the Bank? I was unclear.
No, not that I'm aware of. Because none of these guys were in that match. Well, Gorwheel was.
Gorwheel was, but I think he was in another match.
Correct.
Right.
Okay. And from Gorwheel, still pissed. We got our vacation shortened by a week by Anon. That's true. Originally, Toxic Wastelanders had informed they were taking the week off to have a little vacation, and then they were informed, nope, you got a match this week. You got to show up. Apparently, they had all their beach gear ready and everything.
That move is brutal, by the way. I've never seen the computer kick out of that.
You see, this is one of the reasons why I wondered, because Gorwheel is with his win. But I hear they were going on a vacation. For some reason, they had beach gear, even though I heard they were heading to Chernobyl. I didn't understand. But then again, every time I've tried to talk to the main man, my little blood starts trickling out of my nose, and I get a really bad headache.
I was gonna say the even scarier part is that they kept referring to it as Disney World.
Yeah, that was the interesting part. So, thank you.
Agreed,
guys. All right, let's move on. Now the next one, and this was interesting because we just had a fatal four-way that Rapture New Road managed to pick up the win at, and now for another of the coveted slots in the Money in the Bank match was a fatal 5-way. And this one was Glycerius, Absolute Washington, Carnival, Sir McCheese,
I remember him,
and Alpha Kong. So one of the first things I noticed was 3 members of this match wore masks, and a 4th member of this match should wear a mask.
Yeah, but you shouldn't talk about Washington that way.
I was going to say, you know what? Washington, his hair has to be there for all to see in all its glory.
Well, if you got to imagine if any of that product ever started wearing off, he wouldn't be able to see.
I mean, as we heard during the call out, he has got his company. He's actually built a hair care empire in his home. He wrestles because that's his dream, but he's got something to fall back on. In fact, we've had commercials for Absolute Hair product right here on Firing Line. They're one of our sponsors.
Indeed.
And their spokesmodel,
indubitably.
Yeah, and their spokesmodel is Raphael Sampson, which I find interesting. Anyway, oh yes, and this is a ladder match. That's the other thing. You need to grab the briefcase for the shot at going for the briefcase, which was, I thought, an interesting bit of symmetry from the brass right there.
And now here you'll notice a very not very familiar thing among luchas. It's called the lucha eye lock.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
It was interesting.
And this is called the lucha what would it, levitation, I guess?
I think somebody was like, did Glycerius learn something from
that's what he meant by street lucha. What he meant is heresy tech.
Yeah.
Ah.
I mean, I guess he froze the air and stood on it?
There you go.
Sure.
Yep, froze it.
Either way, I mean, that's
Glycerus.
I do feel that's an early contender for a particular Nexie.
Yeah, maybe like, I don't know, the Wilson of the year.
The Wilson, it could be Wilson contender right there. What I loved was how calm he was about it. Yeah, I'm just floating in the middle of the air. It's no big deal.
And so he grabbed that briefcase, which means he's in the match. Is that what I'm gathering?
Yeah, he is in the Money in the Bank match. He's in that.
So
event.
Just to confirm, we did a Money in the Bank ladder match to qualify for the Money in the Bank ladder match.
Yeah, it's a little bit of Inception there if you think about it.
Gotcha. Okay, just wanted to double check.
Whoa.
So, yeah, I had noticed that and I was like, sure, why not? Hey, at least it wasn't like that one dark match a couple of weeks ago where they were fighting for a briefcase full of chicken tendies. So,
yep.
With that said,
a lot of chicken nuggies.
So this next match, if it was an interesting setup, as everyone knows, at the Battleground event, we had 8 Royal Rumble style matches. Each winner received 2 star chips, which are points they could then bet against each other for a fabulous prize. And thus far, there has been a lot of contention for who has what star chips. So this next match, while in and of itself not a star chip match, it is an 8-man Battleground showcase featuring all the current star chip holders. And we start with the glorious one himself, Probanaga, Sparrow, The Beef, Sasquatch Wing, The Blue Dandy, Nice Ice, and Maximilian Thunder Thighs. So do we have I don't have my list in front of me. Who has the current tally of who has how many star chips?
I don't.
Okay.
No. I know the least is Sasquatch with 1 because they lost to Sparrow who had 2.
Right.
I don't know if anybody has more than 2.
Well, no, I know for a fact Blue Dandy has 3.
Blue Dandy has 3. Okay, got it.
Because he won the original one from Sparrow, which then Sparrow got back.
I know Beef won one from Probunaga. So did he ever lose one?
No, I'm getting it. Beef has 3.
Okay, so then his win with Probunaga gave him 3.
All right. So from this, what I'm getting is we have the Beef
and Dandy with 3.
Right.
Probunaga and Squatch have 1.
Right.
And I believe everybody else has 2.
That's what I'm getting. So, yeah, we need to remember to write that down so we can keep track of it.
Yeah.
So, Squatch and Probunaga 1, everybody else 2, except for Beef and Dandy who have 3.
Right. Yep. And we do know that there has been another challenge for this upcoming week between Nice Ice and Maximilian Thunder Thighs, who have just decided to have a nice, straightforward wrestling match for their chips. For one chip each. For one chip. Just no fancy stipulations, no fancy type, just a straight-up wrestling match, taking on each other one-on-one. And,
there have also been 2 more challenges dropped, apparently.
Oh, I did not see those yet.
Mm-hmm. But you are correct. There is the one you just described is also correct.
Right.
It is a straight-up normal wrestling match, which will be nice.
Mm-hmm.
And with this the Beef wins the showcase.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's got to be a good boost just for his position in this, even though he still only has 2 chips. To say he came out on top in a match against all of the chip holders.
He's also currently the only member of VIP that matters that doesn't have a belt. So maybe trying to work his way into contention for one of the other belts.
That's true. Well, my understanding, now there's a prize at the end of this entire Battleground, I guess, tournament.
Uh-huh.
And my understanding is it taking the form of a belt.
Okay.
I believe that's what I've heard. I could be wrong. It does seem to change from day to day. But it does seem to be it take the form of a title and positioning the next time there is a grand battle.
Mm-hmm.
And either way, if you're the Beef, you definitely want, especially with as you said, VIP is in an interesting position right now, but we'll get more into that later in the program.
Oh, yeah.
The next matchup is a triple threat match for another slot in the Money in the Bank match. This is a straightforward triple threat featuring the Terror Angel Fear Strikes, the Wall Boss Jungos, and Raphael Sampson, the spokesmodel for Absolute Hair Products. And of course,
this is a triple threat match.
Yes.
Yes.
The other one was a fatal 5-way, yes?
A fatal 5-way and a fatal 4-way.
So it's gone 5-4-3.
5-4-3. Yes, it's
okay.
And this, now, looking at these contenders, you've got the original Orc of MNW, the Holy Judge of the Multiverse, and the Angel of Fear, and former member of the Faces of Fear. So this is one where it's like, anyone else getting into a match with any one of these 3, you're going to go, well, that person's in trouble. But now it's them all against each other. This in a triple threat context is a bit of a hoss fight.
Yeah.
So the I'm trying to remember. I don't know that any of them, other than the fact that Fear Strikes and Jungos were in the Warpgate Hardcore division for a while. I don't think either of them have ever had much to do with Raphael.
I'm not positive on that.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Although now maybe, because Jungos pinned Raphael to secure his own spot in that Money in the Bank match. The Wah Boss, who, again, he is one of the MNW originals. He's, as far as I know, one of the long-standing members of the roster.
Yep.
So that'll be interesting to see how he performs in that match. Meanwhile, as we saw in the previous week, At the Gall, XR Kun lost his World Heavyweight Championship to the one-man bar fight, to the roughneck Burnout Vaughn. And as you would expect, especially since it endangered his position within the Faces of Fear, the Sith Lord came to the ring, not even with a request, with a demand.
Now, I have made it very clear to everyone in the back that I am a Sith Lord and I am composed, and I am a world champion. Now, last Saturday, there was a mistake, and it was made, and now we will rectify it, and we'll have a rematch with no interference, so we can have a fair match. Very simple. All right, come on out, Burnout. Come on out right this fucking company. Blokes like you, Burnout. Blokes like the funky beat. Blokes like David Man and his championship runs. Blokes like all these other factions that they don't match up to the Faces of Fear. No, do they? Do they not? They don't. Daverman, having enough of that. With all due respect, XR, you lost like a bitch in the middle of that ring, and your title run ended as it started, dirty, and us all hating it. But guess what? Burnout Vaughn won, and you can fucking deal with it. Excuse me for getting spicy. This, how about later tonight? There's a Money in the Bank ladder match. How about you and me face off one-on-one for that? Huh? Face off one-on-one for the 8th spot, huh? Very well. You're on! I'm gonna send you back to the tag division where you belong there. Oh, by the way, look over there. Oh! Whoa, Daverman. And the crowd still makes good change places. My God, he's brilliant. These tactics. XR Kun evading damage now. Trying to get the upper hand. He has it. Force discombobulate. Wait, what is he doing here? Wait, Daverman's taking another. No, countered. Oh, no. Oh, oof. Later tonight.
All right, and there you have it. So it will be XR Kun versus Daverman.
XR getting a few early hits in before that match coming up.
Yeah, that's fair. Although I did also find it interesting that XR, I'm not used to him using expletives, but he had one during his promo. But he's a Sith Lord. Who cares? But yeah. Daverman got a little spicy
too.
It's almost like Frank Miller started writing him.
Oh God.
I'm sorry, is that too real?
Too real.
Okay. Fine. Well, we can move on. Okay. All right. So we had a fatal 4-way, then a fatal 5-way, then a triple threat. So if we go by this progression, that's right. We're having another fatal 4-way. And this time, first off, Gore Wheel. Not only did he not get his vacation, double duty. Notorious CT, double duty. Registered Anon. We've already seen him tonight. And then finally the Revenant. Yep, these guys have to wrestle twice.
Wait, Revenant and Gore Wheel were in the same match as... Sorry, I missed this match.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's fatal 4-way featuring the Toxic Wastelanders as singles competitors.
They put the... Oh, boy.
Yeah. And the whole time they're both going, we're supposed to be at Disneyland.
And they're mad about it.
Yeah. Wow. They had plans. They were looking forward to churros.
Yeah, Gorewheel in particular seemed really bothered by it.
Yeah. Gorewheel was really looking forward to that.
Big fan of churros, Gorewheel.
Yeah. And,
At least it looked like they're sort of working as a team, which is good.
Yeah, I mean, they're still a team. They're still the Toxic Wastelanders.
Oh, the Gore Wheel.
Yeah. But to be fair, Revenant still knew he was still in competition. Although all he did was break up.
Although he just tweeted out on social media.
Yeah. Well, I like this. Yeah. Gorewheel on social media. What makes a get win? Rage. Unyielding rage. I mean that's
churro deprived rage.
Yeah. He all he has to do is think about those churros that he could be enjoying right now, and it gives him the strength and the fuel to slam the largest wrestler in MNW.
And then, hey, look at that! You could turn around into the Wheel of Steel.
And there he goes.
A Wasteland Slam, something like that.
Yeah. Either way, Gorewheel, he may not have his churros, but he is going to the Money in the Bank match. Yeah, and Sage the Omni Geek, I'd be upset if I missed it on churros too. I mean,
word though.
Yeah. So
that's why we hired Manatee.
That's true. I'm sure Manatee can make some great churros.
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 I'm from Seattle.
Churros. Yeah, so that's where they're churros?
Yeah.
Quesadillas?
On the other hand, I know how to pronounce Spokane, so that's okay.
See, I side with Zacho on this. I prefer Spite.
Spokey?
Most people pronounce it Spokane.
Huh.
And that'll drive anyone from my region nuts.
I'm
sure there's stuff people mispronounce from Chicago.
Oh my God, that's got to be Spokane.
I asked for that.
You sure did.
I clearly asked for that. All right, now that was a fatal four-way. So what are we going to now, do you think?
A fatal five-way Money in the Bank ladder match.
Wrong.
Actually, a six-man, one-fall match.
Wait, what? But I thought we were going back up the ladder.
We are, but we're jumping a spot.
What?
Oh, you precious summer child.
Yeah.
Wait, but 5 comes after 4.
Right. Yes. This was put together by somebody who
the
can't
number
count.
thing was.
Oh, right. They don't use numbers in Canada. I forgot.
No. It's the metric system.
They're numbers, but they don't mean as much.
Yeah. And those competitors, well, first off, Forrest the Fortress Wade, Daggerick, Gorm, Laid High-Rolled, Citric King, and then Dr. Grimm. And, I was thinking about this match, and we know that there's questions on Flashbang about you had the brain of the beast high-rolled and the body of the beast high-rolled, and there's another brain in that body. And so you have to assume that Laid High-Rolled has to be at least a little bit, at least interested in what's going on with all that.
Yeah, he's like, wait a second, I'm where now? There's a what?
Yeah. Plus,
because the mask on Popo is one thing, but old High-Rolled showing up, that would get my attention.
Yeah, and he's in this match with Dr. Grimm, who's the leading suspect for having done all that work. So that's the first thing I think of. Plus, you've got all these. You've got Forrest, who was just recently tag team champion. You have Gorm, who the Conquest Bloodline has been doing great work, is looking for being able to match up with the rest of his team. And, of course, you have Citric King, who, is very happy being an orange.
The juicy one himself.
Yeah. I hear he's, he's always got something in the works.
And look at who Grimm got.
Yeah.
How appropriate.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, that High-Rolled has all those questions. And those are questions I'm sure Grimm doesn't want High-Rolled asking.
So Grimm pushes himself closer to a potential title opportunity.
Yeah. Which again, with the meritocracy of the Faces of Fear and the recent fall of XR Kun, Grim could be looking to raise his own station again. Not that he's ever seemed to care that much, but you never know with Grim. You never know quite what he's up to.
Well, you know what they say. Grim gritting ducks come out to lobotomize.
That's fair. All right. So we just had a 6-man, 1-fall match. So do you want to take a guess?
Okay.
What do we get?
So based on the numbers, it should be a 7-man elimination match. But I'm going to say there's a ladder involved.
Well,
wrong.
What?
No, you are not completely wrong. You got at least a corner of it. It is an elimination match.
Okay.
It is a 5-man elimination match.
That is the wrong number.
Well, you see, we skipped over it before to go to that 6-man match, so we had to make
wrong. And I know there's not even a 7-man match in the fucking game, but still, come on, people.
So they carry somebody.
Well, of course, because 7, 8, 9.
Well, somebody carried the 1.
Damn it.
So anyway, this match features Wonderball. That one schmuck.
Hey!
Strongman Bell. And then a much darker Sir Uncle Dunk. And then Wilson, son of Will.
But why?
So, yeah, I mean, Wilson going after that belt because Wilson has a dream of being the first double belt holder.
So, question.
Okay.
Strongman Bell is in this match, being primarily a tag team specialist, tag team of the year at the Nexies.
Yes.
And we see here he's eliminating Wilson.
Which, good on him.
Yeah.
But,
yep.
Where's Ginger Boy?
That's a good question. Well, we saw him in the Spitfires match earlier.
Oh, you mean the match that the Cat and Anon and Revenant and Gorwheel were in?
Yeah.
So where's the former heavyweight champion's opportunity at Money in the Bank?
I'm sure that's an excellent question. But in fact, I think it's the only time we saw him this night.
Well, I mean, there are several answers to that question.
But
so follow-up question.
Yeah.
This is just just throwing this out there. Where boy, I'm trying to be nice. Hold on.
Okay, meanwhile, I'll point out.
I feel like there's other singles competitors that might have potentially been in this match over a tag specialist.
Oh, sure. So but it was won by Uncle Dunk, who is a former tag specialist who's going out on his own now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's that.
There is that.
So that's
that makes sense.
Sure. And then you've got Wilson, who doesn't make sense in any context, so it's fine.
And he was the first one eliminated. So
true. So I see where you're going, and I think the answer is I have no clue. I'm sure there's a plan. Anyway, let's so our next match, well, this is important. Our next match has really nothing to do whatsoever at all with the Money in the Bank. Nope. What it does have something to do with, though, is our audio promo of the week. So for this is, ladies and gentlemen, the Warzone audio promo of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Wilson, son of Will.
And the new Trios Champions, VIP! Oh, that felt really fucking good to say. I know you Cheeto dust-covered smarks are upset that your darling little meme aren't the Trios champion anymore.
But newsflash, VIP has and always will be superior to those angsty teen scrap heaps. Because we're not here to make dumb references or suck off the host of Firing Line. We're here to dominate. Even without Doom's interference, Ozir would have wiped the floor with the great value Megatron. He would have embarrassed him almost as much as Zacko embarrasses himself. But I digress. VIP are your new Trios champion until the heat death of the universe. So you neckbeards better get used to seeing them around our beautiful wastes. In fact, you better get used to seeing a lot of gold around our waist, because I heard tell that the Trios champion are allowed to become double champions. Isn't that interesting? Wouldn't it be pretty cool if Wilson, son of Will, became your first ever double champion? I think it'd be the best thing to ever happen to this multiverse, personally. But anyways, we'll go out on our merry way now. The best faction in the multiverse has champagne to drink, supermodels to sleep with, and a faction war to win. We'll see you shit-covered pigs on Saturday to show off our new digs. Mwah! Sayonara, dipshits!
So, yeah, that was a thing that happened. Anyway.
Hello, Mike. Hello. Is this thing on? Why, hello, Jerry.
Hello, it's Mad Justice Jack.
That would be Mad Justice Trademark Pending Jack. The Pumpkin King.
Yes, hello.
Esquire.
Welcome to the show.
Yes, I just wanted to say that I would like to commend VIP and the resiliency of Ozir Tehran to overcome pure, absolute, undeniably malice. Okay. It was a tremendous win.
Yeah, absolutely. Done completely on his own merit.
Completely! I'm glad we agreed, Jerry. I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page about how this was going to be talked about.
Absolutely.
Excellent! Awesome! I don't want to have to come back here.
I agree.
Toodles!
Pete, you okay? Pete, speak to me. No, words, Pete. I need a word.
Okay.
There, that's a word. Eric? Eric.
Yeah, I'm not okay with that.
Okay. Just okay. Just we're all fine. No one's hurt.
Every time he's so happy, and yet I think he's going to kill me.
Yeah, I know. I was just like, sure, whatever you say, sir. That's great. Most people just call in. He just burst into the booth.
He just walked in the room.
Yeah,
he could call. I know he knows how to use phones.
Okay, here's the thing. That door was locked.
What?
It's still locked. Look at it.
Can you call Mike?
Let's get onto the match.
Well, okay,
Pete, make it.
I thought you're supposed to be. Don't you know Seth?
We talked to him before, but yeah. Actually, Pete, could you call APS while we get onto this?
Thanks, appreciate it. What's the next match?
Next match. Well, anyway, it is VIP. It's the Trios champions: Ozir Tehran, Wilson, son of Will, and the Doctor of Albinomics, plus Suplex Sam, taking on the Big Oof champion, Mega Blitz X, the Unified Tag Champions, Chained Hell, and the Multiverse Heavyweight Champion, Burnout Vaughn.
Oh, Burnout's the world champ.
Burnout is the world champ. He won that championship last week. That's what X Raccoon was complaining about in the middle.
Right.
Yeah. He actually got a little salty about that. If you think about it.
Yeah. And look at Doctor of Albinomics. Look at right out of the gate, just potent.
But going after the elevated one, our own common writer, the one and only Mega Blitz X. Yeah, Big Oop champion.
And look at the distraction there by VIP. Textbook.
Yeah. It's interesting to note 2 former members of Omega Club are belt holders.
Yeah, they are.
Meanwhile, the Doctor of Albinomics pulling out all the stuff. So far, he's the only one wrestling for VIP, though.
It's true. And look at that double Andraste. And thanks for playing Chained Hell. Oh, wait. Still alive.
Yeah.
And now it's Auzier trying similar questionable tactics.
Yeah. This is after all, this is I believe it's a one fall match. It's a 4-on-4 tag.
You see that was the veteran experience, and unfortunately he got to the ropes, but he lured him in.
Yeah, I mean the absolute skill of Auzier Turan. Undeniably, it has been established the best technical wrestler in MNW.
Yep.
And if at first you don't succeed, try again. And this time, he got it.
Got him.
I mean, really, he's
Auzier's
the best.
a monster.
And the second best is the Doctor of Albinomics. And who got wore down Hightower? Doctor of Albinomics.
Exactly. Kicks to the shoulder, kicks to the head.
Yeah, he softened him up, and then Auzier Turan came in to deliver the coup de grace. However, there's one person who I think has, even though he never got in the match, he now does have a fresh L on his record. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have on our phone line right now.
Oh, no, he's not actually on the phone, is he?
The Multiverse Heavyweight Champion.
Oh, boy.
Burnout Vaughn.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Hi. How you doing, guys?
We're good, champ. So, as we said, you never got tagged in. You never had anything to do in that match. And yet, due to that match, 1 week after winning your championship belt, you did suffer technically a loss.
Yeah, I know. You gotta love the brass sometime. I've noticed a trend, and I'm starting to ask myself a question. What would the former world champions do in this position? And, I start thinking, would Chaz put up with this? No. Rosso? Definitely not. He would definitely vent his spleen. Would Edward Bosco put up with watching basically half of our titles be devalued in a single moment? Yeah. I'm mad, and, well, they may have gotten me to record something for Saturday, but I'm not going to spoil that. I will say I had plans. The plans have changed. I was going to enjoy this newfound freedom I have as a singles wrestler, but now I am preparing to draw a line in the sand and wait to see who crosses it.
Actually, I had a question for the champ. If he's taking questions,
go ahead, Eric.
Okay.
Go right ahead. Yeah.
Hi. Eric Genericson, Flashbang commentator. I should say that.
I know. Big fan. Don't miss an episode.
Oh, thanks. Oh my God, the chance. Anyway, yeah. So, how did it feel that after a couple weeks after quietly departing Omega Club, essentially over social media, how did it feel to be teaming with Mega Blitz again? The new champion.
Now, we didn't part on great terms, but we always considered ourselves brothers. We weren't always liked. We were all we had in the entire multiverse, and Mega's like a kid brother to me. Seeing him succeed, I'm happy. We're on the different pastures ourselves, but I'm glad he's finally getting elevated like he's been saying all this time. But I'm also going to point out, anytime I'm tagging with Omega Club, I basically know things aren't going to go great. So it wasn't a great feeling.
And any words for Chained Hell? They were technically the ones that lost you that match. It wasn't Mega.
I know. I haven't really had much to deal with them. In fact, given my feelings on certain other wrestlers, I could find them commendable. But, well, they were out of their element. This wasn't a regular tag team match. All those different factors, I'm sure, given another chance, they'd bring it back. But they do make me think about something. I'm in the weeds alone, and this is a faction war. So, I might have to start looking for certain like-minded individuals soon.
Oh dear.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll say this. There's certain people that are as disgruntled with the brass as I am. So, we may talk. And as I basically told them to play for Saturday. When I talk now, you have to listen.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, your multiverse heavyweight champion, Burnout Vaughn. Thank you, Burnout, and we look forward to seeing you on Saturday.
No problem. I love catching a show like this. You guys have a lovely night.
All right. Thank you very much. And also on social media, we have, it's Maximilian Thunderthighs. Champ, I respect you and your title. If you're drawing a line to cross into your own, it may not be now, but I'm coming to cross that line. Hold the belt till I get there.
Oh boy.
That's yeah. You remember last week we had Max on the show, and he said he was coming for all the belts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's part of that.
So I know he works at a hospital, but they might have to get a specialized bed just for him if he thinks he's going to cross Burnout Vaughn.
Yeah, that's something I'm still.
Well, I mean, especially since it's a children's hospital. Too small.
I'm still trying to verify. He made that claim that he's a doctor.
I mean, if he's a doctor, then he should be smarter than to call out that man in this mood.
I'm still trying to verify.
Look, man, he might be book smart, but he is not street smart.
So yeah. Hey, so let's get into now we just talked to Burnout Vaughn, so now let's pay attention to the man he took that belt off of. Specifically, it's the Sith Lord Exar Kun coming to the ring with Grizzly Adams and the Storyteller, facing against Daverman, coming to the ring with his protege Sparrow and Lieutenant Phoenix Hallex. And as we saw, this match came about when XR was demanding an immediate rematch against Burnout Vaughn after losing his belt to the Boozy Brawler at the Gall. And Daverman going, no, you don't deserve that. And this is what they decided to do is, well, if I can't fight Vaughn, I'll fight you.
Yep.
And what do you think now? I mean, I've always looked at Exar Kun as somebody who's very focused, very calm. Can we agree to that?
Sure. Yes.
And yet during his promo earlier, I was noticing that some of that focus seemed to be drifting. So I have to wonder if maybe the loss of his belt has actually gotten under his skin.
I think it's one part that, and I think it's one part frustration with the lack of competitiveness around him. Who else has even sniffed championship gold other than XR? Even sniffed it.
That's true.
Would you? The Faces of Fear inserted themselves into a tag team title match, and the match was over in under 7 minutes. And they were not even involved in the decision. So if I'm XR Kun, I am furious. Storyteller is kind of doing his own thing with this whole masked wrestler that we don't know anything about. We've got Lucius, who just isn't seen anywhere. And so XR in this particular match is probably taking a lot of frustration over that and the fact he lost his title. And unfortunately, it was Daverman who was on the receiving end of being set free by the Force.
Yeah, it's true. And, on the other hand, I mean, a Sith Lord, if you look at their code, their rage gives them strength. So maybe this is just what the Sith ordered. But yeah, you make the point. What have a lot of the other faces done lately? I mean, Grimm at least got himself in the Money in the Bank match.
Yeah, but that's an opportunity at an opportunity. That's It's basically like playing the game of Kevin Bacon. How many degrees of separation are you away from a championship? XR is fresh off losing one. You've got the Faces of Fear and Grizzly and Grimm or Storyteller, whoever he happens to be pairing with, who tried to get the tag titles. They were in the match, but they didn't win the match. And now Grimm is a step back from even that. So he has to have an opportunity at an opportunity. And who knows where the hell Lucius is?
Yeah, I have no idea. Maybe he's gone back to wrestling hell.
Maybe.
I mean, you can't tell anymore. All right. With that though, somebody we did in the production. Somebody noticed something interesting during that match, and we've got a very focused clip from that match. We just want to point out for everyone.
Oh!
Okay. And that is pay attention to Grizzly Adams and Storyteller in this moment.
Is that synchronized cheering?
It does appear to be synchronized cheering.
Who knew?
I don't know if this is maybe some special Sith ritual. If they were trying to enhance.
Lend me your strength, brother.
Yeah, I mean possibly. So
Possibly.
Yeah. Or maybe they're just giving it the old college try.
Oh, there you have it there, folks. The faces of cheer.
Oh!
I can just sense how mad he is right now.
Above game, I hate this fucking game.
Yeah.
I hate the fact that you can't get two different animations to proc.
The fact that, I mean, literally Tim was like, "Oh dude, I found something."
No, I pointed that out in the call when it happened. I was like, are they cheering in sync?
Yeah. And so as
they did it another
it is
time.
only
There was
fair.
twice in that match.
Yeah.
God
It is only fair if I'm going to make memes involving Alba and other members that yeah.
Who's Alba?
I don't know.
He don't worry about it. He was around for a
But
while.
yes, we are certainly not above the memeing.
And thank you to the 100 bits from Jay Frost. From Gorwill, what people don't know is that Grizzly and Story are part of a synchronized simming team. All right. Hey,
People don't know is I didn't ask.
Yeah, but you know what? This whole night has been building to one match, that being the Money in the Bank match.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're finally here. Ladies and gentlemen, your contenders for the Money in the Bank: Rapture New Road, Glycerius, The Beef, Jungos, Gore Wheel, Dr. Grimm, Sir Uncle Dunk, and XR Coon. Now, I guess that last match
right
counted as a singles match to get in this match.
Yep.
Yes.
So there you have it. 8 men in the match. 2 Faces of Fear, 1 VIP, and 1 Toxic Wastelander, and a bunch of other singles competitors.
And 1 D&D.
True. I mean, technically, Rapture New Road is part of Dungeons and Destiny.
This is an odd thing that we started to notice is that both Grimm and X-Arcoon seem to be tangling up with each other a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that is interesting. We were discussing the interrelations with the Faces of Fear earlier, and it does seem that they are fairly focused on one another. And then eventually, of course, X-Arcoon remembers that this is a ladder match. So
one has to wonder why not simply use the Force to pull down the briefcase.
Yeah, I mean, especially after Glycerius did whatever he did to get his briefcase earlier.
Yeah.
Certainly XR-Coon can. And then again, we're back to Dr. Grimm and XR-Coon.
And we see Rapture playing spoiler.
Well, Rapture with his eye on the prize. Let's be
But Grimm is like, hey, Gorwill, help me. And then Unkley, who has no love lost for the Faces of Fear.
No, not at all. Well, right now, with
and then there's Gorwill with a ladder, which is the last person you want to see with a ladder.
Yeah. Okay, so if you've got Choppas and you got Shootas, what would you count a ladder as? A Beta?
A ladder.
A Pumla.
Pumla, okay. Yeah, I'm still not that conversant in Orc.
Also, Beef trying to push Jungos off.
Also, Beef is really bad at this.
Yeah, he really is.
Yep.
I think it's also worth pointing out 2 Tieflings in this match.
Yep.
But more importantly, the Orc won.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Money in the Bank goes to Jungos. As with the MNW Money in the Bank rules, this means that Jungos has the right to go after any mid-card title.
Which means the hardcore title, the Big Oof title, or the Nexus Titan Championship.
Yeah. And that could get really interesting. I mean, so that means he's either going up against
Semjax or Trashman.
Semjax, Trashman, or Mega Blitz, yeah. So there you have it. That is where that stands. However, there was one more incident that happened that did get recorded. Do you want to set this up?
Well, unfortunately, the thing is that Jungos was starting to give a celebratory speech after winning the Money in the Bank. Unfortunately, he was shortly after that attacked by Legion. And while this was happening, we were able to cut to the back where we got to hear from one Pupusa Agent Pupusa.
Right. And let's go hear what Pupusa had to say.
Hello, everybody. I confirmed with Gus and Jake on the footage. I was attacked several weeks ago, as you all know, by an unknown assailant. And I can confirm they were the same height and size as the assailant both nights of the attack. And furthermore, the only way that assailant could have attacked Justice Jake on the night of the apocalypse was if they were in the building that night already. Because no one else entered in. And we get a scientific scan, no one else entered into that area. So whoever attacked Justice Jake is the same attacker who attacked Taco Duo and was there the night of the apocalypse. And our lead suspect is Semjax.
Okay, I might need a whiteboard.
So,
Eric, can you walk us through this?
Yeah, so basically what I understood is that the person who attacked Jake is maybe also the same person who attacked Zako.
Okay.
And he hit them with Impaler DDTs.
All right.
The move of Semjax, who we know has a grudge with Zako.
Mm-hmm.
My question would be, what is their grudge with Jake, unless it's just more faction warfare? That being said, we also had revealed in that apparently the attacker was already in the building on both nights. So whoever attacked whoever attacked Jake was in the building the night that he was attacked already. He didn't come into the building during the show, but he might have come in before the show. And then there was a second event where Zaka was attacked, and he was also in that building. And so the same man was in both buildings.
Right.
You follow? Okay. And then at the end, he said the lead suspect is Semjax.
Mm-hmm.
Also, apparently the man that attacked Jake and Zako is the same height and size as the person who attacked Pupusa.
All right.
And so, as our broadcast partner pointed out, that Semjax-shaped man might be Semjax.
Interesting.
It sure is a possibility.
Well, I think the answer is we have to have Semjax put on a mask and hoodie.
It's true.
You know, and have him in a lineup.
Yeah, so above game, basically what he said, and I don't know if he meant to do this, is so whoever was in the building on that night had to have done it. Yeah. Yeah, I know.
I mean,
but they were already in the building because we scanned the building and nobody came in or out during the show. Okay. About before the show.
These are
what about earlier in the day? Are they currently active on the roster? Are they from Flashbang? Are they from another promotion? We've seen so many crossovers, and there's so many people out with injury and other. Are we sure that there's nobody else that has history with Zocco and Jake? Has to. All right, let's find out what happens.
All right. Yeah.
Turns out it was the doof.
Oh, it was the doof all along.
I mean, yeah, because he needs more money for his entrance.
There you go.
There's a social media post.
I'm starting to see why Papusa wasn't promoted to investigator until he went into private business for himself. So wait a minute. What are you saying, Burnout? I mean, because right now we have 2 investigators. We have Papusa doing investigations for Warzone, and we have the Omni Geek doing investigations for Flashbang. So are we going to need a Nexi for best investigator?
I mean, it's a 2-horse race right now.
It is, but other people could join in.
Oh, no, APS. APS has done some
APS,
investigations.
You're right. Yeah, that's 3. Okay,
so they would count.
We only need 2 more investigators.
Have a category, best investigative wrestler.
Okay, so let's see. We've got a private investigator. We've got essentially a CSI. We've got paranormal investigators. So what we need is a Scooby gang.
Dude, Scooby's been in the multiverse.
Scooby's been in the multiverse.
Oh shit! Time to dust off the old save file.
And then we need a what's another good one?
Sawyer brings up a good
Charlie's Angels.
Sawyer brings up a really good point.
Sawyer is the only wrestler other than Bosco who's worn a hoodie, though, and he does do DDT-like moves. Ooh. Yeah, that's and you know what? Sawyer has issues with.
I've seen Sawyer do a DDT, and he's got issues with Jake. But would he turn on Zocco?
Maybe to muddy the trail. If it was pre-planned, I mean, there's possibilities. It's better than Travis's theory,
which is
it's the MVP. He's just it's how he's coming back. He's just he's like the phantom of the
above
of the
game.
multiverse.
No, it's not.
Yeah, but
not that anybody will actually believe me, but no, it's not.
Yeah. All right. Well, you know what? We have one last thing to do. It's the
he believed me. Thank God.
It's the Warzone moment of the week.
Oh shit!
But before we do that, we need to hear a word from our sponsor, and I think in light of everything, we know which sponsor we're going to hear from tonight.
Are you having trouble up there? Can't seem to keep it up in form? Does no amount of gel or jelly seem to even keep it stiff? Well, have no fear, because Absolute Hair Care is here. Absolute Hair Care is a service dedicated to ensure that you have a quality and style that makes you look not only great, but also looks good even when you get pile-driven in the ring. With a vast assortment of gels, putty sprays, shoes, shampoos, and conditioners, we'll guarantee you'll have the freshest dew in the multiverse. We cater to Yakiniku Party, Blue Dandy, Go Wheel, Raphael Sampson, the founder himself, Absolute Washington, and even people like Trash Man.
Name redacted.
We even have live testimonies from the judge of MNW himself, Raphael Sampson.
Lo, as the Lord is my witness, I'm amazed at how soft and how strong my mane has become, similar to the days of old, when my namesake, Samson, proved his strength with his locks to all those around him. So I too prove the power of my hair by keeping it from damage done by inadequate salon products and being brought headfirst into the floor.
Thank you, Your Honor. To get your appointment, call 1-800-ABSOLUTE today. We eagerly await your call. And remember, can't return to your roots? Get Absolute.
Oh no! Another rival! And Knuckles here is going for it one more time! Oh! Hit it low now! Oh! Hey! My God! Magic happened here in the arena! Look at that! Woo! Now that is pristine luchador.
Here is your winner, And the guy who gets the third.
So there you have it.
Yep.
He committed luchamancy.
The hardest core of parkour.
He parkours off the air, man.
Street lucha, man. It's a hell of a drug.
Yeah. All right. So we haven't gotten the card. We don't have the card up yet. We don't know what's really going on Saturday, do we?
No.
No. All right. Okay. All right. So one thing I would like to bring up, and we talked about it earlier in the show. I'm just going to bring it up now. The YouTube channel. And we have, as in case people weren't here earlier, we have hit a point where the YouTube channel is consistently getting the latest episodes of all three MNW shows up within, a day after they, following Twitch rules, a day after they aired. So we want to start expanding on that. So what we are opening up, well, first off, we still need people to cut like, comment, and subscribe bumpers for the end of the videos for us. And what we'd like people to do is to do those in character. Keep in mind, you have 30 seconds, and we don't make it a storyline thing, and try to make it something that's not locked in time somehow. So if you're currently holding a belt, don't mention the belt, because that'll change at some point. But I know Zacho
identify yourself, a tagline of yours, and like, comment, share, subscribe.
Yeah. I was talking to a couple people.
Nice and simple.
Yeah, a couple guys who have got ideas based on their characters that they're going to try and put some stuff together. And you can drop them into Firing Line submission right now. We will eventually get a Discord section that's just for YouTube. But those would be kind of like that, Rosso. Yeah. It could be.
Should I give them an example?
Yeah, go give an example.
Okay, sure. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Eric Genericson, and you are checking out the official Multiverse Nexus Wrestling YouTube page. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so that you too can feel the bang.
There you go. Yeah, short, sweet. Get in there. We'll worry about that when we put them on videos. We just need people to record. We'll figure the rest out on our end. The other thing we're doing now is we are opening up for people to submit videos that we will put up on the YouTube channel. The idea is we want to get smaller videos that people are more likely to watch in one sitting, just to help drive more traffic so more people will be able to find the site. And all we ask is that you keep those to under 15 minutes. Honestly, the shorter the better. Be easier to upload. But these could be highlight reels of characters. They could be retrospectives of characters. They could be, maybe if you create a custom Titantron for yourself, we could put that up there. Honestly, things like this, I'm not going to say because it's a spoiler. Never mind. You might see some examples. Yes. You might see some examples in the next day or two of things that might work really well. Commercials.
And the thing is that ultimately
recap videos.
Yes.
Ultimately, like we said, it's video submission, and we have the rules for the time limit and the promo rules. But other than that, that's it. If you guys can think of something that we haven't, related to your character in wrestling, go for it. We just
custom theme songs would be another one. So like Wiley made some custom music that could go up on the YouTube channel. Even if it doesn't get used, you could throw it up there and be like, hey, alternate mix of Brawl Kaiser theme or ultimate mix of Max T Thighs theme.
Yeah. So
look at things like music on YouTube. If you are wanting to do like an audio thing, just put up a still image. If that's still outside of what you're able to do and you just want to contribute some audio,
I will say this.
Too.
I like Matrix's idea of like make a top 10 of the worst beatings Wilson has ever received. If you're going to do something like that focused around someone else's character, and it's not just going to be using a clip for like a recap video, be sure to ask them, treat it like it's a promo, make sure that you have their permission to do that kind of a list.
Right.
Unless it's your own character, in which case you're fine.
Right. Now, the other thing,
and like we said, you know, the promo rules are the main thing. And again, we're me, Bosco, Caliban, and Offkey are all going to check these and make the final say as to what goes and what doesn't.
Yeah.
So we're doing that also so that you guys can literally send us anything. And then it's on us to look at it and go, yeah, that works. No, that doesn't.
Right. Now, to be fair, not every, we may decide, well, this isn't going to go up. And it might just be, we just can't use this, or it might be, we can't use this, but here's some notes.
Sure.
We're going to ask, though, if we give you a final decision, that please understand that we have to look at the bigger picture.
Yep.
And with that, only other thing, we are currently working on getting older stuff up. Some of them, though, we are talking about doing some watch parties.
Oh, yeah.
Bosco has one he definitely wants to do. Now, are you want to do that straight on YouTube, or you want to maybe use YouTube to do it on your Twitch? What are you thinking?
We could technically do both as long as I'm not streaming both.
Yeah.
Right.
So I can stream it on my end from Twitch, and you can stream it on YouTube.
Right. But we're talking about maybe doing a watch party for the MVP's last match.
Yep.
Also, we're getting together edited the videos from Multivania, so that we at least have the matches so they can go up. And when those are ready, we're probably going to do a watch party for Multivania.
We can also watch my match with Redacted right before that.
That is true. So with that, I think we're pretty good. We're pretty much on time right now.
Yeah.
So it's time for the show. Well, okay, hang on. First off, so for Pete McPherson and Eric Genericson, I'm Jerry Aldini. Thank you for joining us for MNW Firing Line, and we look forward to seeing you in the Nexus. Good night, everyone.